At the Murph, it's the champs of the NFC West, San Francisco, against the team hopeful to be champs of the AFC West, San Diego. The Niners were mildly interested in Dallas's loss yesterday. In fact, at the team hotel this morning, right now, they are singing Bing Crosby's seasonal song, I'll Be Home for the Title Game. You remember that verse, don't you? They will be, by the way, if they win 2 of their last 3 games. The 49ers have won 8 straight, sorry about the tune, scoring 50 points last week. The Bolts, who will shelve their powder blues today, go back to this year's uniforms. They're 3-4 after their 6-0 start. Mort, you know, I think in San Diego, the problem is Humphries can still throw it deep. They got a nice running back in Means, but they have no intermediate plays, 10, 12, 13, 15 yards. This is where they need something to happen, and that's what's missing from their offense right now.
Well, I think Stan Humphries is the guy misfiring. He was supposed to be the first half MVP in this league, and right now, a lot of questions surfacing. Like, for instance, maybe Joe Gibbs had a point about his conditioning problem, or why did he get benched for 4 games his senior season? All I can say is he better turn it around in December, or more questions are going to be asked about him, Tom.
Yeah, Mort, you talk about the MVP of the first half of the season. Let's talk about a possible.
You know, we've created a very good opportunity for ourselves.
In sports, we are afforded real magic moments when Wayne Gretzky stands behind the net and says the game unfolds in front of him in slow motion. When Michael Jordan says the hoop appears larger than normal. For most athletes, it's once in a lifetime. For Steve Young, that time is now. He sees what you and I don't see, feels what you and I won't feel, knows what you and I can't know. 9 games ago, Steve Young was just your average, typical, great quarterback. Now, he's in the zone.
To me, I call it control. When you feel like you're under control like that, what's happening is that you're getting to the guy that's wide open. You know, you're finding that extra guy.
Not Marino, not Moon, not Montana, not even Unitas or Graham or Tarkington. No quarterback has ever played 8 straight like this.
How good is Steve Young playing?
Well, I would compare him to Joe Montana. You know, the best to ever play the game.
8 games, 20 touchdown passes, only 2 interceptions. The Niners' record, 8-0.
I don't think I've ever seen Steve play better.
Almost 2,000 yards passing, another 173 running, 4 rushing touchdowns.
He's been unbelievable.
The completion rate, 71%. The quarterback rating, an obscene 124.5.
I tell you right now, he is without a doubt the #1 quarterback in the league.
The Zone, how to describe the indescribable, how to explain the inexplicable.
You watch the film on Monday, and the coach will say, great reaction, and in your mind, you're saying, I don't really remember doing that. I guess that's when you really know you're in command of things, is when your reaction is almost subconscious. It's just an automatic thing.
Arousal levels, alpha beta waves, peak performance curves, all scientific stabs at why him, why now. Why it took a 40-8 loss to Philadelphia, a benching and a sideline shouting match with the coaching staff for Steve Young to enter the zone.
That was a point in time where he decided that he was going to start being more vocal about the things that he felt. He wasn't going to internalize everything.
I thought it was just fun to scream at the coach and get away with it. I thought it was great. Maybe that's the worst thing that could have happened for him, because that kind of got me started. Oh, you don't get in trouble, you know? He actually apologizes to you. Hey, I got it going now.
It was as if, teammates say, the ranting and screaming and yelling did what an MVP award and the highest quarterback rating in history couldn't. Steve Young finally made peace with what he is.
He just decided to say, if I think something, I'm going to say it. I think that he finally figured out that this was his team.
And that has made all the difference.
He's taking a little more charge of the huddle. He's told some guys to shut up, which is against his Mormon background. I don't want to tell his dad that.
He really surprised me last game. He sweared a little bit in the huddle.
Ever since I took over here, I just said, look, shut your mouth and play football and do a great job of it. I'm glad that I did it that way, where my mouth was the last thing to kick in.
When you talk to any player in any sport who's having a great stretch, they tell you, I'm no longer thinking about what I have to do. I'm just reacting and having fun. And Phil, right now, nobody's having more fun in this league than Steve Young.
Yeah, he's having fun. You know what? Ex-quarterback, and I'm jealous of him. But I tell you where he gained the respect of his teammates is back in Week 3 when that offensive line against the Kansas City Chiefs was decimated. He showed courage and tried to win the game all by himself. But let's bring in another ex-quarterback, Joe Theismann. And Joe, I've had some hot game 1 streaks, but never an 8-game streak like Steve's having now.
Well, Phil, you know, we've all had our share of little bit of streaks here, little bit of streaks there. I think the thing that really has set Steve Young apart is the fact that he no longer is trying to be someone or something he's not. When earlier this year and at the end of last year, he was always saying, okay, I don't want to run with the football. I want to try and get the ball to Jerry Rice. I want to try and get the ball to John Taylor. Now what he's doing is he's going out on the football field and he's saying, I'm going to do whatever it takes for our football team to win. He's running when he has to. He's throwing like he's never thrown before. And he's reading defenses. But I think the most important thing is the team now believes that this football team belongs to Steve Young. And Boomer, when you can take control and everybody knows that it's your team, you're an unstoppable force.
Well, thank you, Joe. I respect that comment. You know, nobody deserves this more than Steve Young, and we know him very well. Now, you're at the New Orleans-Atlanta game tonight at 8 o'clock. 2 quarterbacks, new location this year, under fire, but both Jim Everett and Jeff George, they've delivered.
2 outstanding quarterbacks who will be going at it today. Jim Kelly, 1 touchdown short of 200 for his career, and Warren Moon leads the NFL with over 3,800 passing yards. And welcome back to Studio 7 here in Hollywood, California. You know, today in San Diego, the red-hot 49ers look to continue their winning ways as they battle the Chargers. While the Niners are hoping to return to the Super Bowl, the Chargers believe they have the means to that end. Running back Natron Means is second in the AFC in rushing yards and is the key to the Chargers' offensive attack. San Francisco brings in an 8-game winning streak and leads the NFL in scoring with 411 points. Now, much of the Niners' success as of late has to be attributed to the stellar play of quarterback Steve Young, and Howie Long has had the opportunity, of course, to play against him. You were there. What's happening? How has he stepped his game up?
I think the big difference with Steve Young, JB, is he's comfortable. This guy is in a zone. To say he's in a zone is an understatement. But right now, in my mind, he is the MVP of the league, and I enjoyed the conversation with him this week. You've put up with so much crap through your career here. How did you hold up mentally and stay so focused and positive through all of it?
Very difficult, a lot of times. There are many times I felt a little overwhelmed by the whole thing. But in a way, I just, went to the next day. And over time, it's gotten a lot easier. And in many ways, it's been the ultimate challenge for me personally, and something I'm very proud of and feel very good about. And this year, I think there have been some great strides, I think. Some things that have happened this year that seem to have put me over the top in a lot of ways.
Ironically, those ways have come in the form of the 49ers' only 2 losses. But for Young, this would be a blessing in disguise.
The perception coming out of the Kansas City game was that I could take a beating and still stay out there and fight through it. And then the perception being in Philadelphia that I kind of got off at the end of the game screaming on the sidelines, yelling at everybody. And I think I wasn't surprised by it because I feel like that's part of me. But certainly the perception outside in the public was that there finally was a personality underneath the helmet that they hadn't seen, and maybe in a way that the perception was I was taking control of the team, which I felt I'd done, over years.
That's the Steve Young that I know. Why did it take so long to surface publicly?
I think the biggest thing is that when I took over here, I wanted to, my feeling was play ball and keep your mouth shut. And play great ball. The sense that you couldn't do much with your mouth. You can do a lot with your arm and with the way you performed. And I let that kind of play its way out a little bit, and maybe a little too long. And I think that maybe the perception now is publicly what I felt like privately for a long time.
Do you think now that there is finally a perception that this is Steve Young's team's quarterback?
Oh, I think it'd have to be. I would hope that it would have started a couple years ago, but the way that we've had to just continue to play extremely well throughout the time that I've been here, there's been a standard set, and now I think the standard is what I've been able to do. I'm not playing against anyone else's standard but my own because I've played it for enough time, done it well enough over time, that the standard here is your own, and then in a sense I guess that's a sign that it's your team more than anything, because you're comparing yourself against yourself.
If you don't win the big game, will Steve Young go down as one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time?
I don't know. I think the Super Bowl still remains as the defining moment in a lot of people's career, rightfully so, because it's a big game. It's not going to hurt me personally over the long haul of my life, but certainly that's the one thing out there, the one remaining goal that I can have with my team that's something that would be the ultimate. And it being out there remains the greatest incentive really in my career and in my game right now.
You know, guys, his all-time quarterback rating is higher than Joe Montana's. He broke Joe Montana's record for consecutive passes without an interception. This guy has really taken control of his team, and he has one thing left to do: win the world championship. And for the first time, he has a defense that's capable of doing it.
Howie, I think in my time at Dallas that Steve Young was the most difficult quarterback we ever faced as far as trying to defend all the things that he did. And I think he's the most unappreciated quarterback and unappreciated player in the entire league. I think he gets that, the accolades that he deserves January the 29th when he puts one of these on as the starting quarterback.
And he's thrown more touchdown passes now to Jerry Rice than Joe Montana. A lot of people don't know that.
There's no question that he's a guy who has led by example in some very difficult circumstances there for sure. All right, folks, when we return, a Fox style.
At Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego, the San Francisco 49ers against the San Diego Chargers. A lot at stake for both teams in this contest. Absolutely perfect day. I'm Pat Summerall here. For the Chargers, the AFC Championship, the home field advantage throughout the playoffs. For the 49ers, basically the same thing, although they have a lot of it locked up already. With me, John Madden, as usual. And John, first of all, let's talk Chargers. What about their approach to today's game?
Well, I think they just have to get back to playing championship football. They know that they can clinch their division with a win today, but I think more than that, they started out as a real hot team, and then they kind of cooled off. They didn't look good Monday night against the Raiders. Bobby Ross said they got whipped on both sides of the line of scrimmage, and I think they just have to start playing championship football. I think they have to be able to run the ball, and Stan Humphries is going to have to get the ball to his outside receivers.
For the 49ers, they've won the NFC Western Championship. They have all of the tiebreakers in favor of them. They have a lot at stake, however, in home field and advantage throughout the playoffs, but they are still regarded by most as the best team now in professional football. What do you think?
I think they want to keep that. I think right now, if you say who's the best team in the National Football League, it's the San Francisco 49ers. I think they're playing better than anyone. I think Steve Young right now is the best player in the National Football League. So they have that going in December, and they want to keep that. They want to keep that roll going. Deion Sanders has really helped their defense. They have the whole package now. They want to keep it throughout December and bring that whole package with the home field into the playoffs.
And we'll have a chance to see that offensive machine of the 49ers first as John Carney will kick off in the direction of Dexter Carter. Carter will handle it at the 11. Some doubt about whether or not he'd be able to play, but play he does. And a good return up to the 30 where the 49ers will take over. Let's look at that explosive starting lineup led by Steve Young. And is he ever hot? 69% completion percentage. Wallace, Sapolo, Oates, Derek Deese at right guard, Harris Barton. They're getting back healthy and they're very effective. Those who'll handle the ball: Jerry Rice, the great one. Hard to say, hard to use that word without applying it to all of those who catch the ball and run with it for San Francisco. Fake to Ricky Water. To Jerry Rice. First down, San Francisco. The timing, everything is just about perfect on this San Francisco offense. The defense. And we'll hold up on the defense just a second. Those of you who watch Green Bay overwhelm the Chicago Bears, welcome to Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego. First possession of the day for the 49ers. Steve Young. Intended for William Floyd. Let's look at the San Diego defense now. The front four, O'Neal, Davis, Lee, and Mims. The three linebackers, the great junior Seau, Gibson, and Griggs. And in the secondary, Harper and Gordon, the corners, Richard and Darren Carrington, the two safety men. 2nd and 10, 49ers. Ricky Watters and William Floyd behind Steve Young. To throw it again. Incomplete. Intended for Watters.
You know, you're talking to the Chargers yesterday about playing the 49ers. The two things they have to do, they feel, is to put pressure on Steve Young and squeeze the pocket, or as Bobby Ross says, put a cage around Steve Young. Then the other thing is Steve Young is going to complete passes. The receivers are going to catch passes, but when they do, they have to tackle him. No big plays.
Keep him in that cage. Bobby Ross said over and over. 3 wide receivers, Young to throw it again. Into the pocket. Through the hands of John Taylor, incomplete. He was open.
You're not going to see a lot of that. That was a perfect pass. That hit John Taylor right in the hands. In fact, it hit him so hard in the hands you could hear it all the way up here. That thing just slapped right through his hands.
Bounced off his shoulder pads.
Yeah, that's because he had his hands too close to his shoulder pads.
Darian Gordon back deep. Klaus Wilmsmeyer will punt. Gordon standing back at about the 15. Wilmsmeyer's kick's a good one. At the 10. To the 20 is Gordon. Adam Walker down to stop him. 1st and 10 for the San Diego Chargers. Led by Stan Humphries, number 12. Injured his thumb on Monday night. He says that's painful, but okay, if you can understand that. In front of him, Swain, Whitley, Hall, Milenchik, and Stan Brock, the veteran who spent so many years with New Orleans. Means, Say, Jefferson, Shannon Mitchell, and Aaron Lang. Those of you who watched Pittsburgh come from behind to beat Philadelphia 14-3. That's the final score. Here we're on the second series of the day. Chargers have the ball after the 49ers had to punt. Tyrone Drakeford is the injured 49er.
Yeah, he went down. He was, you're going to see, he's coming down on the punt coverage. Now watch him. He doesn't see or feel or hear or anything that block coming.
He might have felt.
Yeah, he felt it after he got hit. But that's one way when you have clogged sinuses to get them cleaned out. And anything else. I mean, that Miller, that Miller came down there. He brought a whole load with him.
Yeah, special team life is a different kind of existence.
Well, yeah, that's a tough thing. You know, when you're that outside guy there, you're getting double teamed
and triple,
and sometimes they're even going to triple team you.
1st and 10 for the Chargers from their own 20. Means left side for about 3. And let's look at the San Francisco defense, and they have really come on of late. Ricky Jackson, Dana Stubblefield, Brian Young, and Dennis Brown, the front four. The 3 linebackers, Norton, Plummer, who played so many years here in San Diego, and Lee Woodall back this week. Sanders and Eric Davis, the corners, Merton Hanks and McDonald, the safeties, and that's one thing Bobby Ross said we have to do. We have to control those 2 safety men. Easier said than done. Humphries back to throw it. Incomplete. No flag. Shannon Mitchell is the intended receiver, covered by Norton.
Yeah, Shannon Mitchell is the H-back, and he's like the fullback. They put him most of the time. He's a tight end type guy, but he plays in the backfield. And he's the lead blocker for Means, but that time he just faked the lead block and went out into the flat. You say the 49ers had that one covered.
Ronnie Harmon is the deep back. Dangerous coming out of the backfield. Harmon comes out. Humphrey steps up. Sean Jefferson takes on Deion Sanders. First down, Chargers, and right in front of the Charger bench.
Well, they're all fired up.
Are they?
That's the way to do it. If you're going to do something, go right at their strength. That's what Stan Humphrey said yesterday. He says we have to get good pass protection. He said we aren't going to stay away from Deion. He says we got to take some shots there. That one was Tim McDonald there that missed that tackle, and then Sean Jefferson made Deion Sanders make the tackle.
That's exactly what he did. Made him make the tackle. He didn't want to miss it, and he didn't. Means right side a couple.
The ball carrier. I think that's what the Chargers need is they started off this season with a bang, and then they kind of stumbled a little, and I think they've had some injuries and so on, but they've also lost some confidence, and just getting a completion, a couple of first downs against a team like the 49ers can help you start to get some of that offensive confidence back.
On second down, it's Means again. Still fighting as Natron Means. Dana Stubblefield was the first man to hit him. And he did well to get back even close to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and that's tough because he left his lead too quickly. He had his lead and he had his blocking. That play was supposed to go to the right. So that's where you have all your onside blocking. And you'll see here as he'll have the lead going to that side. See the lead going to his right. He left the lead. Now on the other side, all you have is backside blocking. And it's hard to run into backside blocking.
Humphreys back to throw it with time. Pass complete for a first down. Tony Martin made the reception. Number 81.
Doesn't look like that thumb is bothering Stan Humphreys. He hurt his thumb Monday night. Didn't practice at all on Monday, Tuesday, well, they played Monday night. Didn't practice Tuesday or Wednesday. Started to throw on Thursday and said it feels pretty good. It's still swollen, but the thing that he worries about is his grip. And it looks like on these first couple throws that grip of that right hand's pretty good.
He said he had small hands anyway, so he was concerned about his grip. First and 10. That's Means again. And this time he finds some room down to about the 36. Stopped by Norton.
This Natron Means is a tailback. I mean, he's a tailback, halfback type with a fullback's body. I mean, he weighs about 245 pounds. And if you let him get to this point right there, where his shoulders get square, he is very difficult to bring down. You better have a whole bunch of white jerseys on him.
Means and Mitchell in the backfield. Mitchell goes in motion. Means again. First down, I believe. Very close. Ken Norton again had to make the tackle, or does make the tackle.
That's an interesting thing about what they did with Shannon Mitchell. They're going to start him to the right and then bring him back to the left. You'll see him come here, starts to the right, then comes back and blocks in here and brings the ball into that hole. See Shannon Mitchell go back. Now he stops. Now he comes back and boom, right there, he makes that lead block. Because when you go by, then the guy doesn't worry about you anymore.
More and more teams are doing that. Here's Humphreys back to throw it. In a hurry, incomplete. Intended for Aaron Lang. Plummer on the coverage. Humphreys indicating maybe I threw it too hard.
I mean, one thing about Stan Humphreys, they say that he doesn't work out, he doesn't lift weights, he doesn't run, he doesn't train. I'll tell you one thing about him, he is a competitor, and he loves to play the game and get out here and just do this part of it.
We got here before 8 o'clock to the stadium yesterday morning, and guess who let us in? Stan Humphreys.
He even knew that magic number to get in.
Yeah. Pass complete. Sean Jefferson made the reception down to about the 26.
There's Gary Plummer, number 50. He's the guy doing the complaining there. Of course, he's playing against his old teammates. Played for San Diego from 1986 to 93, and he's one of those ex-49er defensive guys coming back, playing his old team for the first time in regular season.
And he makes an exit. 3 wide receivers come in. Ronnie Harmon is the deep back. Humphreys gives the ball to Harmon. He won't get the first down. There's a flag on the play. Tim Harris made the stop, but a penalty.
It was what Bobby Ross was saying yesterday. One of their big problems is 3rd and 3. And this last down was 3rd and 3.
Tom White is the referee.
Holding, 72 offense, 10 yards, still 3rd down.
Harry Swain. 49ers will take this penalty. He didn't make the first down.
This is Harry Swain right here, the left tackle. They're running at his side. You see, he just goes right there. I don't think he held anyone. You got to let him do that. That was, part of the tackle was there, but that block looked okay to me.
3rd and 13. That took him out of field goal range. The penalty. 49ers, Dana Stubblefield jumped early.
It looks like the Chargers are going to get 5 of that 10 back on this.
And that might put him back in Carney's range.
You see what Stan Humphries did after he snapped the ball? He knelt down. I don't know what that is.
Encroachment. Number 94, prior to the snap, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
Tom White.
Watch Stan Humphries here. He's going to give a hard count. You see, there's Stubblefield. He jumps off. And then Stan Humphries just takes a knee.
That means I give up. I give myself up. Humphries back to throw it. Hit just as he let it go. Pass incomplete. No flag. The ball flooded out of there. Tim Harris applied the pressure.
Here's Tim Harris here coming from the outside, working against Harry Swain. You see, he starts and he just gives that speed rush. I mean, there's not much here. He just got his hand on him and knocked him out, and he hit Stan Humphries from the back, just as he was throwing the ball. And when you get hit from the back, just as you're throwing the ball, that'll make the ball look like that. They're going for it on 4th here.
4th and 8. Humphries taken down. Tim Harris again.
Oh, you wonder about that. Harry Swain had trouble with Tim Harris, and then you sprint out right into Tim Harris. I don't know about that. Here's Tim Harris, and Humphries is going to come out, and Harris is just going to come up and make the play right here. I don't know that you want to do that. I don't know that you want to sprint into the guy you're not blocking.
That's not a good idea most of the time.
And now, NXT.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Cadillac and your Cadillac dealer, creating a higher standard. By Heineken, the #1 selling imported beer. Heineken, just being the best is enough. By Subway, the place where fresh is the taste. And by DirecTV, introducing personalized TV.
William Floyd, the ball carrier for San Francisco. Good yardage. 7 or 8.
Well, Harris Barton pulled on that one. You know, when we were talking to Junior Seau yesterday, he said it's really hard to key the run with the 49ers because all the guys pull, the whole offensive line. And on that time, the right tackle, number 79, Harris Barton, pulled.
The only person who doesn't is Bart Oates, the center.
Yeah, when Jesse Sapula was playing center, he used to pull too.
Yeah.
That was a good block by Harris Barton, leading William Floyd in that last play.
Floyd got 8 at 2nd and 2. Ricky Waller didn't get anything. Leslie O'Neal led the men in blue. Chris Mims also there with an assist.
And so was Junior Seau. And Junior Seau, I think, missed some tackles Monday night, and he's trying to make up for that. He He has a stinger in his neck that affects his left shoulder and arm. He said as the game goes on, it gets more fatigued. He said he's going to play the whole game. He just has to make some adjustments in his tackling.
3rd and 2. About time for Steve Young to take off. Ricky Waters will take off. Get the first. Dives. Right now for McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio.
All right, Pat, and in the Meadowlands, the Giants wrapped up their victory over Cincinnati with that 3-yard run by Rodney Hampton. 4th in a row for the Giants. They keep their playoff hopes alive. Right now, let's take you back down to Jack Murphy Stadium. Pat Summerall and John Madden.
0-0 score here. 5:45 left to play in the first quarter. 1st and 10, 49ers. Young to throw it. To John Taylor. Close to another first down. Not quite.
Yeah, this 49er offense, Steve Young is playing so well, but so is the whole offense. I mean, the line is doing a good job of pass protecting now, and the receivers, it's just amazing. You're doing so many 49er games that there always seems to be someone wide open.
And I don't know how they do that, because they are not doing all that much differently from what they've done in weeks past, but nobody seems to be able to defend it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, in a zone, in sync, whatever those words are.
Floyd. First down. They're down to the Charger 33. Stopped by Junior Seau.
They haven't even started with Jerry Rice yet. I mean, we've seen Ricky Waters, William Floyd, John Taylor, and we haven't even started to get either Brent Jones or Jerry Rice into it yet. Mike Shanahan has, you know, a script, and then also in his game plan, he has plays to get Jerry Rice in the game, Brent Jones in the game, and John Taylor in the game, special lists.
Rice was on the move, and he crosses Floyd out of the backfield. They do have a lot of weapons.
I think that would have been a good one to get Jerry Rice. Yeah. It looks like he was crossing with William Floyd, but they were both wide open, and Steve Young decided to take Floyd.
Floyd, the rookie from Florida State. You can see him as the weeks pass get better and better and more confident.
Yeah, I think that, you know, confidence he has. I think he just has to calm down a little, and he looks like he's starting to calm down a little.
Dexter Carter and Ricky Waters in the backfield. The handoff is to Waters. Waters chased and out of bounds by Dennis Gibson. Gary Plummer calling some friends in the area.
Now, one thing about Junior Seau, you know, is he's a very smart player, and he's a very intense player. And when he decides to go, he's going to go. But he gets hit too, you know. I mean, linebackers don't always do the hitting. When you're Junior Seau, you're number 55, you become a marked man for blockers too.
But he gets up quickly.
Well, you never want to stay down if you're a defensive player.
Steve Young, and wide open is Brent Jones. To about the 15. There's another target. First time he's been utilized.
And I think that's all part of a number of things. I think, you know, pass protection, which is good. You watch, they give Steve Young time. I mean, he gets back there, he has the time, and he can look, as we say, there's always someone underneath. You have a short guy, then you have a medium guy, then you have a deep guy. This time it was Brent Jones was his check off, his short guy. And then they all know how to take that ball when they catch it and run it straight up the field. Don't go sideways.
1st and 10 at the 15. Waters to the 10. Well, I think you have to ask yourself, John, if they do get so open and they have this offense down to such perfection, why don't more people do it?
Because they don't have the players. They don't have Steve Young and Jerry Rice and John Taylor and Ricky Waters, and William Floyd, as we just said, is turning into quite a player. He made a good lead block on that last play. He was leading for Ricky Waters, and you you know, he not only catches the ball, but he's also a tough guy and a real good blocker.
2nd and 5. Intended for Ricky Waters, went right through his hands. Might have been just a little bit too close for that fastball.
Well, Junior Seau was right there too, and Junior Seau may have been a little too close to Ricky Waters because Junior Seau was ready to unload on Ricky Waters. But Steve Young, he's reading it, and he puts a little mustard on that thing, which he has to. But watch, here's Waters running right into Seau there, and he looks like he started to come up under control and maybe forgot to catch the ball.
3rd and 5. No score. Young to throw it. Wheels it outside. Brent Jones. Touchdown. Airborne.
I tell you, this is it. I mean, this is just perfect 49er football. You're running the ball. You got good lead blocks. You fake a run. You look and you dump off. It's the same pass that Brent Jones just caught a couple plays ago. Just catch that thing and then run it straight up the field into the end zone.
Or fly up the field.
Yep. That's the old heels overhead. You got to give a touchdown to a guy when his heels get over his head. You got to give him a touchdown.
Especially when he lands on his head. 7-0. Doug Bryan's extra point is good, and George Siebert's San Francisco 49ers lead by a touchdown.
Let's look at how Brent Jones is so open on those two plays. What he's doing, he's coming in here and starting to block. Then the defenders all go off, and then he sneaks out here, out into the flat. You see, he starts to block. He comes down like he's a blocker. See him block, and then they lose him and forget him. And they lost him and forgot him twice on that last drive.
Doug Bryan kicks off. Andre Coleman deep. Starts from the 3-yard line. You don't hear too much about the 49ers special teams because the offense captures so much of the spotlight, but they are very effective too. 7-0 49ers over the Chargers. Pat Summerall with John Madden at Jack Murphy Stadium. Jack Murphy Stadium, that name sometimes called a Murph. That just makes you cringe, I know, and I don't like it either.
No, because I knew Jack Murphy, and Jack Murphy was the sports editor of the paper down here, and he brought football to San Diego and helped all sports and was a great man.
Means tripped up by Ricky Jackson. Yeah, you really got to get your head in the game, don't you?
Well, this was during the break when they were playing the music.
I think Deion's one of those guys who doesn't need music.
No, Deion enjoys life.
Yeah.
You know, when you're not playing, he takes it easy, but he goes pretty hard when you're playing.
Sean Means, first down, stopped by Stubblefield.
Yeah, I think what the Chargers have to do is they have to keep this game close.
You know, John, I remember what Bobby Beathard, who's the general manager here, and a friend of yours was telling us when we first saw number 20, Means. He said, I think he's the complete package.
Yeah, that was a year ago.
Yeah.
We did a preseason game, and he said that he thinks that he's going to be special. They got him in the second round.
Incomplete, intended for Mark Say. 7-0 49ers. Come down to the end of the first quarter. Where is Bobby Beathard? He's up top with Alex Spanos.
I think he's right there.
Yeah.
I think that's Bobby Beathard. That's Alex Spanos to the left of him, the owner of the San Diego Chargers. And that team has done a pretty good job of putting this team together.
They really have. On second down, it's Means. Not much. But if you just kept watching, you saw an indication of how strong Means is. That's the end of the first quarter with the score. San Francisco 7, San Diego nothing. San Francisco leads 7-0. Third down, about 8 for the San Diego Chargers at their own 35. And they go with 3 wide receivers and Ronnie Harmon. 3rd and 8. Contact by Ken Norton.
Yeah, the 49ers don't blitz a lot, but they were going to on that one. Kenny Norton was coming on a blitz. He was trying to time that perfectly and hit that ball just as it snapped. He got there a little too quick. Then the 49ers pointed to Chargers as someone on their team moved.
False start.
False start.
Prior to the snap, the quarterback, hey Bob, 3rd down.
They call it hard count against the quarterback.
Yeah, they call that on Stan Humphries. We're going to see, does he move? And again, he moved his head a little. The left guard moves. Yeah, you see, that's what they called him on that hard count. Bobbing that head.
That'll make it 3rd and 13. Humphries gets it out of there. Incomplete. Intended receiver was Sean Jefferson. As we begin the second quarter, let's look back to the first quarter statistics. No turnovers so far. 49ers leading 7-0. No significant difference that I can see.
Well, the Chargers had one opportunity and they didn't make anything out of it. The 49ers had an opportunity and they scored 7 points.
Dexter Carter fields Brian Wagner's punt. Carter goes out of bounds at about the 32-yard line, where the 49ers will take it over 1st and 10. On December 2nd here in San Diego, an evening for Amy was held to raise money for the daughter of Charger great Ed White. Amy's in a coma following a June auto accident and her medical insurance has lapsed. Friends from all over the sports world contributed items for auction and showed up at the dinner in force.
Real tribute turned out, because he's a wonderful guy, and I think we just all have a lot of hope that Amy will recover and be on with her life.
I was just talking to her neurosurgeon, and I remember words he spoke early on that, if she can do one thing and do it again, it means she can do everything, and she's starting to do it every day, a little more and a little more, so we're very hopeful.
7-0 49ers, 1st and 10. Young fakes, hits Rice. Jerry Rice at midfield. Stopped by Stanley Richard.
Well, Ed White was, such a big part of this San Diego scene for a long time as a Charger player and a Charger coach and a San Diego State assistant and longtime NFL player and just longtime good guy. And I just wish the best for he and his family and for Amy.
First for the 49ers. Pitches back to Ricky Watters. Watters picks up about 6 with that catch on the previous play.
And that's Junior Seau. It's that left shoulder, left arm, left side of the upper body nerve, but that doesn't look like what he hurt. It looked like he's reaching for his left knee.
Left leg, yeah. Started to say a minute ago, with that catch, Jerry Rice has become the 3rd player in NFL history to go over 13,000 yards receiving. James Lofton is 1st, Steve Largent 2nd.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Lexus, maker of the faster and roomier 1995 LS400. By Aflac, insuring over 38 million people worldwide. By the Citizen Watch Company. Citizen is how the world tells time.
2nd and 4, San Francisco. Young back. Rice juggled but stayed in bounds with possession.
You know, Jerry Rice does everything so well. I mean, run patterns and you know, and catch the ball and run after the catch. But he's so strong. I mean, he just goes up and catches the ball, and it's like a fly is on him or something.
Just came down with one hand wrapped around the ball.
I mean, he has the whole package.
Yeah,
I mean,
but does
when
he?
they put it on the shelf, Jerry Rice took it all off the shelf. He took all the good stuff.
And he's still using it very effectively. Chargers blitz, flag on the play. They throw to Taylor. Incomplete.
That's one way to stop the 49ers, have a play call against them. It's illegal motion.
Number 35, offense.
Junior Seau came out. Now he just came back in. He was replaced by Lewis Bush, but Seau's back in now.
Yeah, that penalty was against Dexter Carter. Steve Wallace jumped up and started talking to the referee like it was him, arguing that he didn't do something. I guess he didn't do anything.
It's 1st and 15. The sideline markers are wrong. They have it 2nd and 15. Now they've changed it on the other side, not on this side of the field. Seau just bruised, I say just bruised his knee, and that's why he took that brief rest, but he's back now.
Then I think you can say just because he's back now.
Yeah.
And Junior Seau is the type of guy that no matter what happens to him, if he can get out there and play, Junior Seau is going to be out there playing.
And we have a little meeting among the striped shirt folks.
I think they had not only problems with the down markers, which they've gotten straightened out now, but they also had problems with the 25-second clock.
First down, not second down.
First down, not second down.
Boy, am I glad they know that. Oh, they're so proud of themselves. It took them a while. They had to have a meeting.
Well, they had dealt another hand of hearts.
They got it down. All that, then they go first down, not second down.
First down and 15. The line of scrimmage is the Charger 34. Young back. Gets it to John Taylor. Taylor out of bounds, about 3 yards short of another first down. Knocked out by Darian Gordon.
Yeah, you watch the protection for Steve Young, and he's going to take, here he takes a 5-step drop, looking the whole time. They almost get there, but that's a frustrating thing about playing against Steve Young. You can almost get there, but he'll get rid of the ball. It was like Sean Lee. He was right there, ready to tackle him, and boom, he gets rid of the ball, and they gain 10, 12 yards.
That's the key to playing Steve Young, or the frustration of playing Steve Young. It's a lot of almost.
Yeah, they have him in the cage, but he still completes pass.
Floyd gets the first down. Pop through the front of the Charger defense. Darren Carrington and Junior Seau on the tackle.
You know, William Floyd's starting to become a better runner too. You notice that he started out with the blocking and the pass catching, and now he has some moves. I mean, he's a big blocking fullback, but I mean he makes some moves in there like he's a halfback. Maybe that bar none is right. Maybe he is the best fullback bar none.
Maybe. Not many of them around that carry the ball. Floyd again. Now that didn't get much, but that's a pretty good effort.
Well, he's so big. I mean, he weighs 245 pounds. So when you weigh 245 pounds and you get that stuff going forward, then you can, just make 3 or 4 more yards just falling down.
Well, I think he and Ricky Waters are both very emotional guys, and they let sometimes emotion interfere with effort.
Yeah, and what they have to do is they have to get rid of the emotion, get back in the huddle, get the play. That's what frustrates this offense sometimes. I think they are calming down.
Incomplete. Through the arms of John Taylor. Steve Young got his fastball working today.
Yeah, he does. And Stanley Richard had his helmet there looking for John Taylor as he came in. Stanley Richard is a free safety, and the pattern that the 49ers run more than anything is that slant pattern. And you're going to see it here. John Taylor's on the outside. Now he's going to slant or right in, but watch Stanley Richard right there. He was ready to unload on him.
3rd down and 9. Taylor. I heard somebody gasp on the sideline in pain.
Or in frustration. It could have been John Taylor because he didn't get the first down.
And it could have been Junior Seau.
And you have to know as you go across here, John Taylor knows this, you can't go out of bounds till you get the first down. Watch him, here he comes in the crossing pattern. Now you can see that thing. He should make a move. He wants to get up the field, but he can't do it. And I think that was what the owl was for, is not getting the first down.
It's 4th and 1. Floyd checked in. Young called a timeout.
Yeah, I think they were going to go for it. And if you're going to go for it on 4th down, you better all be sure of the right play.
The 49ers have the ball at the San Diego 7. 4th down, and they need just about that much for a first. And they're going to go.
This hasn't been one of their strengths.
Young over the head of William Floyd. That was about his 5th option. And the Chargers take over.
And it's still not one of their strengths. I think if the 49ers offensively have any problems, it's short yardage and goal line. Here they don't show the confidence in their running game by throwing the ball. And again, they go for 4th down. They don't get it. Same thing happened last week.
If you're tired of watching reruns of those shows about families that are too good to be true, join the Bundys tonight for an outrageous dose of reality. Catch a brand new episode of Married with Children tonight at 9 Eastern, 8 Central, right after a full hour of The Simpsons. Chargers. Means might have gotten a yard.
You know, one thing that everyone's doing against the Chargers and Natron Means is just ganging up in the run. You know, saying that if the Chargers offensively can beat you, they can beat you with Means running the ball. Then if they get that to play pass and all that stuff, so everyone is ganging up and saying, okay, you can't beat us with the run. If you're going to beat us, you got to throw the ball.
And 2nd and long, Humphries will probably have to throw it from the end zone. Picked off almost by Deion Sanders. He juggled.
He's going to go and kick it and find it and get mad at it.
Mark Say was the intended receiver. He had it and lost it.
And he knew it was a touchdown, too. You know, if you're looking for the best covered defensive back in football, here he is, Deion Sanders. I mean, he is so quick, and he's such a good athlete. Watch how quick, when the guy turns to make his move, Deion does it as quickly as he does. I mean, Mark Say was there making that cut, and Deion made that cut as quick as Mark Say did.
3rd and 9, Humphries back again. Time. Pass is almost intercepted by Tim McDonald. I believe no. Toy Cook, the extra defensive back. Humphries was high with the throw.
See, and that's what you get when you can stop their run. See, they stop that 1st down run, then they can put those defensive backs in, put that pass rush in, and let those defensive backs take control. 2 passes by Humphries, almost 2 49er touchdowns.
Brian Wagner standing way back at the back of the end zone. Dexter Carter waiting for 49er. At the 48. Carter to about the 38, where the 49ers take over in great shape. In the meantime, out in the parking lot, on a beautiful sunshiny day in Southern California, there is still room for some cooking.
Yeah, we don't get down here a lot to see what they're cooking in San Diego. But they have great stuff. I mean, this is the beach. They just bring the beach right with them. A lot of fruit.
Whoa. I'm glad he's in the parking lot.
I think I know him. I think he used to play for me.
Might have.
He was a linebacker.
Waters juggled the ball and finally got it back on a good bounce and got perhaps a yard. Getting down to that point of the season where it's tough to keep track of who's in and who's out and who might make it and who won't make it. Eliminated today the Rams and Tampa Bay, although Tampa Bay won. That clinched the berth in the playoffs for Cleveland Browns yesterday with what happened today and their victory over Dallas yesterday.
That was some victory for Cleveland. They played very, very well, and that was a big shock to me that they could beat the Cowboys.
Young faked the toss, fires across the middle to Ted Thompson. Another of the many targets that he has. And right now, for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio.
All right, Pat, and in Arizona, they get on the scoreboard, play action, Jay Schrader, the takeoff by Ricky Prohl, who beats Tom Carter. Prohl makes it to pay dirt, and the Cardinals are on top by the score of 7-3, 8:04 left in the first half. Back down to San Diego, Pat Summerall and John Madden.
Back at Jack Murphy Stadium. Waters and Floyd behind Young. Ricky Waters to about the 12.
You know, there's Chris Dahlman, Pat, number 67. You see him there last week. He played center for Bart Oates. Jesse Cipolla pulled his hamstring, and Chris Dahlman went in there for a play. It looks like Jesse's coming back in, so maybe he just stretched it a little, old Jesse. Maybe he didn't really pull it. Chris Dahlman played pretty well. He can play center or guard. Played the whole game at center last week.
And they say he doesn't look like an athlete, but he is very deceptive. He can play. 2nd and 6. Waters down inside the 10 to about the 7.
I think if there's anything that we're talking about that really haunts the 49ers, it's just being able to run in this area. The closer they get to the goal line, they have to be able to run, to be able to pound it in too. And this is where they've had trouble. Short yardage and goal line and running the ball in this area. And knowing Ricky Waters and William Floyd, you know that that's just eating them up.
They're going to measure. Talking about Chris Dahlman a minute ago, about he doesn't look like an athlete. I'm not sure what an athlete looks like.
Well, you know that we saw Deion Sanders yesterday in practice, and he was wearing his dress socks, and he had his sweatpants pulled up above his knees, and those legs didn't look like the legs
they look like an
of
athlete.
a great athlete.
No.
Yeah, no one cared. I mean, everyone would look at him. They were pointing to his leg and his.
I'm glad he got some new socks from yesterday.
I think he wears about 4 or 5 pair of socks during the game.
Makes his legs look bigger.
Yeah.
There's Steve Young surging ahead.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing that we were getting to, that the backs would like to do that. And they take William Floyd out. He would like to be in there doing this. William Floyd isn't in there. Here's Waters. He's back here. You're going to see Waters leaves in motion. Now the only running play they could run is a quarterback sneak. And they always give a gap. Steve Young is a great quarterback sneak runner. He'll always find that open gap you give him.
Now we have Waters and Floyd behind Steve Young. Floyd, maybe a yard. Just across the 5. Leslie O'Neal on the bottom of the pile.
Leslie O'Neal came in there tight on that one. Like he was talking about that play yesterday, the way they have their ends come in and come down tight to spill it. In other words, they're gonna choke that thing off, and if you're going to get it anywhere, you're gonna have to spill it or bounce it to the outside. But see, that's the 49ers' problem. I mean, they give the ball to Floyd, they don't make any yards, and eventually it goes back on Steve Young's shoulders.
Floyd is the lone back behind Steve Young. That's Brent Jones in motion. Touchdown to Taylor. Well, if you get it in, I guess you really can't complain too much.
No, that's right. I mean, it is nitpicking, and if you throw it so well, why worry about how you run it? Watch John Taylor. He's the outside guy here. There's no pick or anything. He just runs and just stands there. I mean, they had 3 guys all bunched together, and John Taylor just goes right and just stands there. Junior Seau's going to see the ball coming. He just can't get to it. He saw it. I mean, he reacted to the ball, but that was no pass pattern.
Doug Bryant's extra point is good, and the 49ers now lead by the score of 14-0. In the second quarter at Jack Murphy Stadium, 14-0. The Aflac trivia question: who were Bobby Beathard's first-round draft picks in Washington, first of all, and then here in San Diego? Bobby Beathard, of course, the general manager here. Andre Coleman fields the kickoff at the 4. To the 22, perhaps, and that's where the Chargers will start.
You know, just watch how they get you in a bind. Here's John Taylor. He's gonna catch a pass, but watch what this 49er passing game to bind they put you. If we can just stop it now, we can see that they just get 3 receivers right here. So then they're going to break off of that. They stem off of that bunch. One goes out, one goes in the middle. John Taylor just stands there, and William Floyd was swinging to that side too. So they had 4 receivers in one zone. That's what you call really overloading a zone.
Means the lone setback. Stan Humphries, the quarterback for the Chargers, trail 14-0. San Francisco just keeps rolling along. Means for about 5. Bryant Young made the stop. The Aflac question again: who were Bobby Beathard's first-round draft picks in Washington, first of all, and then San Diego? You know?
Sonny Jurgensen? No.
Could be. Art Monk in Washington, that's not bad, and Junior Seau in San Diego.
Of course, congratulations to Art Monk for breaking the record yesterday. Steve Largent's record. Steve Largent was at the game.
Humphries is going to take off. Slide at about just outside the 30, about a yard shy of a first down.
Yeah, this is the thing that the Chargers, you know, this is why they have to get something going, get a score so they can keep Means in the game. I mean, you know, if they get behind, then pretty soon you just have to pass every down, and Stan Humphries isn't the kind of quarterback, nor do the Chargers have those kind of receivers that they can play against the 49ers when they get in a passing situation every down.
72, 64 eligible. 72 and 64.
Short yardage Means. Doesn't get it. Doesn't come close. Norton with the penetration.
Natron Means is hot. He had a lead. He had Steve Hendrickson in there with him. And Ken Norton just came right in behind and penetrated. He got in behind his lead. You're going to see the lead goes to the right. Hendrickson is the first guy. You're going to see him start off to the right, and he's going to be the lead. And then Norton comes inside of Hendrickson. You see Norton right there?
Dexter Carter. Ryan Wagner's punt taken by Carter, who gets it back outside the 40. Well, the 49ers will take over there. They lead 14-0. Don't forget to join Fox next Sunday for a very special pregame show at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Terry Bradshaw will hand out the Fox Terry Awards. We'll have a coaches and general managers poll on the state of officiating in the NFL. And Jimmy Johnson has promised he'll announce his decision regarding where and if he will coach next year. That's next Sunday at noon Eastern on Fox. Gary Plummer has to be delighted with the way things are going here for him after playing so many years for the Chargers. Now the chance he hopes at one of those big heavy Super Bowl rings.
That's what it's all about. That's what everyone's in it for.
Young, Rice to the 35. He fakes and just wings it.
You know, that's almost perfect. You know, everyone talks about Steve Young being in a zone, and he is here. I mean, you're going to see Jerry Rice just come up the field here. He's the second guy and just run the slant right there, and the ball is thrown perfect. I mean, he doesn't have to stop. He doesn't have to wait. He doesn't have to go back. He doesn't have to do anything. And watch Steve Young look and throw it. I mean, that is timing. That's, you know, doesn't break stride. There's, you know, that's just perfect football.
It's almost like he doesn't even have to look. He knows where everything is. Almost picked off. Stanley Richard had the ball in his range and right in his stomach, but not in his hand.
Yeah, they're playing that bootleg now. Remember, that was a big play, that naked bootleg where Steve Young fakes and then he's going to bootleg to his left, and he doesn't have any blockers out there. Now what happens is when he comes and he bootlegs out here, if these guys read it and get up the field, there's no play. If they follow the run away from him, they have a chance. But if they see the fake and you see O'Neal come up the field, that play doesn't have a chance if O'Neal doesn't chase that run.
4 wide receivers. Quickly to McCaffrey from Young. And they brought out some more bullets.
Yeah, I think the key word you said is quickly. I mean, that's a big thing. Look at how they overload. I mean, they put 3 guys here. Here's McCaffrey right here, and he just hits him right now. I mean, how do you defend this stuff? I mean, they got a guy just there. He's the guy. McCaffrey's the guy that they didn't cover. So he just kind of came under control. They just playing catch out here.
And as you said, once they catch the ball, all of them are very good runners.
Yeah, they look like they have a checkerboard, and they're the only guys playing. You know, playing one-man checkers. You know, like you just put guys where you want them, and then if you don't want them, you don't put anyone else there. McCaffrey's out there. No one puts a checker on him.
Young is 13 out of 20 for Steve Young. 14-0. 49ers lead it. Tonight, celebrate the spirit of the season with a Yuletide tradition. Ring in the holidays with the original Simpsons Christmas special. Part of a full hour starting at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, followed by a brand new Married with Children tonight on Fox. I didn't get a chance to hum, did you?
I just said ho, ho, ho.
That was you?
Yeah.
Young to Rice. Flag on the play.
One thing about Steve Young in this first half, he's sure keeping guys happy. He's had 6 different receivers already. Up there helping the officials, and Steve Young has got it. You know, there's a point where you get something.
Pass interference.
Yeah.
Number 28. Defense at the 4-yard line. It'll be a first down and goal.
First and goal.
That's against Dwayne Harper. You see, it's right up here at the top, at the left-hand part of the screen. Right there, he just got his hands on him up around his neck. They're really getting tough on that. They're not letting him, after that 5 yards, they're not letting him do anything. It was still a heck of a catch, wasn't it?
If they gave him a catch, they called a penalty. I'm not sure. Waters. Ricky Waters, touchdown.
And on to number 32, Ricky Waters.
Ricky Waters wasn't going to spike it. You see that, Pat? He handed it to Brent Jones. Let Brent Jones spike it for him. William Floyd in there congratulating him because this has been the thing that they wanted to do. Watch, Floyd gets the lead. Boom, right there. Good block by William Floyd. Ricky Waters just puts his head down, gets behind his shoulder pads, and puts it in the end zone.
Bryan for the extra point. Wilmsmeyer holding. 49ers, by the way, took the penalty, so that was not a catch for Rice. So he still needs one more to get to that 800 mark. Nevertheless, the 49ers scored with Ricky Watters and lead 21-0. '49ers 21, San Diego nothing. And we'd like to welcome, on behalf of our Fox network, station WITI in Milwaukee, WAGA in Atlanta, and WJBK in Detroit.
Makes a nice Fox family. Watch this here. Here's a big thing. You get a good lead block here. Barton gets a good block down here, and they're really going to seal off and make a hole in there for Ricky Watters. See Barton take his guy right down there. William Floyd comes off, turns his guy out right there, and all Ricky Watters has to do is run it in the end zone with 2 yards. But you know, that William Floyd has really become a good lead blocker because it's not only making the block, but it's getting in position to make the block.
Well, he's a total package too. He's becoming a better runner. He is a good pass receiver. This is Andre Coleman. Out to about the 25. In fact, this whole 49er team is a total package.
There's Floyd there. See now he's telling himself about how good he blocked. Ricky Watters just kissed him on the head. Now that's 1990s football.
That's not part of the package.
When a guy makes a block, the all Madden Marines are here. I knew they were coming.
El Toro.
Yeah.
Well, you were here. You coached here, didn't you? Not the Chargers.
I coached here at San Diego State under Don Coryell.
Here's Stan Humphries. Pass is picked off, I believe, by Ken Norton. Wanted to see if it bounced or not. It didn't. It's an interception for San Francisco, and they take over again in good shape.
Ken Norton has made some big plays. Remember the Means run on 3rd down when he stopped him in short yardage, and in this play, just getting back in that zone, reading it. I don't know what Humphries was throwing to. He just threw it right to Ken Norton. I didn't see any receiver in that picture with him. He was trying to get the ball to Ronnie Harmon in behind him, but just Ken Norton just was standing there playing the zone defense.
And it's the interception by Norton that gives the 49ers another opportunity.
And he was leading Harmon in there is what he was doing, but it wasn't a very good lead.
Here's Young. Rice. Rice gets the first down for San Francisco. And now he has the 800 catches.
I tell you, he's something special. I mean, he's you know, when they made up the word pro or professional, Jerry Rice is the professional.
Well, somebody said he can outrun you, he outworks you, he out-hustles you, he out-strengths you.
And I mean, that's the thing about him is he has a lot of luck, and he makes a lot of lucky catches because he works harder than anyone else.
1st and 10, 49ers. Young has the ball dragged loose, and the 49ers defensive unit is headed on the field.
Well, Leslie O'Neal did that. He went for it the play before that. We got a rumble going down there, too. Old Derek Deese is in there, wants some action.
Yep.
Leslie O'Neal has been coming around that corner and looking for that ball the last 3 or 4 plays.
And the crowd finally here at Jack Murphy Stadium has something to cheer about.
That's number 91. He was looking all the way. He just took his left hand and just knocked it out of there. He could have gotten a hit. He could have gotten a sack, but he wanted something bigger than that. He wanted the ball. Watch 91 coming from here. Leslie O'Neal. He's just going right there. He just went for the ball, nothing else.
On 1st down, Humphries back to throw. Incomplete. Intended for Papoon. But Humphries was in a hurry. That 800th reception, by the way, by Jerry Rice makes him one of 3 who have 800 receptions. Art Monk and Steve Largent, the other 2.
You know, the San Diego Chargers, I mean, they're getting booed here now, and deservedly so, because they've been whipped so far every way you can be whipped.
Humphrey is complete to Tony Martin. And they get a 1st down for the first time in a long time. And Humphries got hit hard. 40 seconds left to play in the first half. San Diego timeout. They have 2 left. Coming up on the Dockers halftime, James and Terry will have all the scores and highlights from around the league on this, the 15th week of the 1994 NFL season. That's all coming up on the Dockers halftime. 1st and 10, San Diego. Humphrey. Tony Martin makes the reception in 49er territory. And San Diego takes another timeout. They'll have 1 remaining.
Yeah, I think any momentum, anything the Chargers can get here before the half, they can maybe carry over into the second half. I mean, even a field goal here. I think if they could get down and get in field goal range and kick a field goal just before the half, you got to get something on the board. And the first points are always the toughest in any game.
John Carney, one of the best, getting loose.
I remember when I first started coaching and George Blanda was a backup quarterback and kicker. I remember him telling me that, that no matter what, I mean, because you get those 4th and short and you always want to go for the first down and and get a touchdown. He said always get the points, always get on the board, and it's easier to build once you're on the board.
George Blanda never thought he was going to lose at anything, and still doesn't. Humphreys, incomplete. Intended for Martin Hanks, almost intercepted.
Merton Hanks had his hands up there like the ball just went through his hand. You talk about Steve Young having a heck of a year. Here's Merton Hanks here. Watch his coverage. He has that inside position. He's just going to roll inside, and he put his hands up there, and I think the ball did go right through his hand. See, because he has help deep, he can play underneath. He can run underneath that pass back.
Toy Cook behind him. Second down. Humphreys back. Gets it out to Papunu. Flag on the play. Papunu out of bounds at about the 41-yard line of San Francisco, but a flag on the play.
That was the same type of play that Brent Jones caught on that one drive a couple times. That kind of delay and dump it off to the tight end.
Holding. San Diego.
That was Ricky Jackson there in that picture, going against his old teammate for years down in New Orleans, Stan Brock.
Holding. Number 74. Offense, 10 yards from the previous spot. Still second down.
Number 74 is the right guard there.
Jonathan,
he's the guy that they call holding on. He's picking up the stunt. I don't know. I mean, they're getting.
I don't know either.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard in their stunts and guys moving and stuff, and you get your hands in different positions. But to me, that's not holding.
They're so big and so quick. Screen pass to Ronnie Harmon. Harmon stays on his feet, gets to midfield.
That's one thing about Ronnie Harmon. If you say who, in a situation like this, who do you want to get the ball in his hands? I think Ronnie Harmon is probably the top of the list right now.
11 seconds left. They have one more timeout remaining. The Chargers. Been pretty consistent over the years, Ronnie Harmon.
He's a good runner and a good pass catcher, and he not only comes out of the backfield but slot and all those kind of things.
Here's Humphreys, semi-roll left. Pass is caught. Now you better call a quick timeout.
Yep, they're in field goal range.
3 seconds left. Sean Jefferson made the reception, and they're going to give Carney a shot. It's their last timeout, Chargers, but with 3 seconds, doesn't matter. Three seconds left. Dana Stubblefield with that wrap around his left knee. It is a sprain, we're told. But what a consistent force he's become just in his second year.
They have that front seven group, Dana Stubblefield and Bryant Young, the rookie. They've really been the strength of that group.
Carney from 50 yards with Gail Gilbert holding. Based on pregame warm-up, he has enough leg to get it there, certainly. Good. John Carney from 50 yards as the cannon fires at Jack Murphy Stadium. That's the end of the first half with the score: San Francisco 21, San Diego 3. Stay tuned for the Dockers halftime as Fox NFL Sunday will continue after this message and a word from your local Fox station.
This is the Dockers halftime. 100% cotton, wrinkle-free Dockers.
All right, back here in Hollywood along with Terry Bradshaw, I'm James Brown. At the half, no contest right now. San Francisco is just blitzing San Diego. Tim Harris, well, what's he been doing?
Well, you said blitz. That's not really correct,
That's
JB.
not correct?
They're playing
Well,
a lot
score,
of zone.
21.
Oh, I see. The play on words. You know what's good about this? This will blow me away. Jerry Rice now has 800 receptions for over 13,000 yards. Tim Harris, as you know, is picked up, brought in to help give a pass rush for the 49ers, has now got his second sack since in his second game with the 49ers. Each sack represents $5,000.
And let's take a look at how he is doing it. No doubt about it. Let's take a look at Tim Harris.
There's Harris right there. That's the sack that they get up, shoot the guns. There you go. $5,000, please. Thank you very much. Out in the flat. There's Jones. There's a little 5-yard pass. We love those. And now the big guy. Go get him. Up, up. There you go. Touchdown, Brent Jones. Down on his head. You got to love that.
Using his head.
Steve Young now. I believe that was his 30th touchdown pass. This is his 30th first. Over the middle, little hook, little zone route. John Taylor sits down in there. Steve Young having a phenomenal year.
San Diego looking like they're in trouble right now to try to clinch their second AFC title in the last 3 years.
Not been able to get done what they want to get done. They're scoring no points again.
All right, 21-3, San Francisco on top. That one at the half. Okay, moving out to Tempe, Arizona. A 1-point lead. The Cardinals are nursing over the Redskins. Buddy Ryan's team trying to stay in the playoff hunt.
Got them playing hard. Ryan's team 6 and 7 straight of play action. Hold the linebackers. Tighten up the safeties. Don't let them get over and help those corners out. And then throw it deep. There it is right there. Look at that safety. Can't get there. Ricky Proehl. There you have it, JB. 48 yards, touchdown. And that's all you're going to need in this game. Too much defense for the Cardinals.
I wish we had time to elaborate because you really like Ricky Proehl.
I like him a bunch.
A bunch. Okay, we'll leave it at that. Okay, let's move along and talk about Minnesota and Buffalo. Minnesota comes away with the victory in the last seconds of this game here. Buffalo's loss means Cleveland clinches. Take a look at Jim Kelly.
There it is. That's one of those Pennsylvania great quarterbacks out of the pocket. Finds Don Beebe. 9-yard TD reception. Great concentration there. Buffalo up 17-9. Allen in. That makes it 18-17 Minnesota. And then you're going to see Kelly as he's hit by Thomas here, right on the knee, sustained. I guess he got a stretched ligament MRI tomorrow morning.
Yeah, no question about it. Let's hope he is okay. Again, the MRI tomorrow morning. We'll reveal greater details on that one. Okay, so Minnesota does win it 21-17. Buffalo loses. Cleveland clinches a playoff spot. The Raiders are leading 6-0. That one late in the second quarter. And Seattle is blanking Houston. That one also in a second. Back with more after this. All right, and welcome to Hollywood along with Terry Bradshaw. I'm James Brown, and welcome to the Dockers Halftime Report. Green Bay, big victory over the Bears.
Packers had a great day. 100-yard rushing for Bennett. Nice day by Favre. Here you see my man Steve Walsh has the ball dropped in the air. It's picked off by Leroy Butler. 51-yard interception return down to the 4-yard line. That led to a 4-yard Edgar Bennett run. Bennett over 100 yards rushing on this day. Sterling Sharp, a big day. Quick post in the middle. Safety can't get there. 13-yard touchdown reception. First one of the day. Here's the second one. Favre back. Boom! Guns it out in the flat. There he is. Inside. Over the safeties. 22 yards. Second touchdown reception by Sharp. Big win today by the Packers.
And Bill Cowher's team into the playoffs 3 consecutive years.
Nice job. O'Donnell down the middle. There's your man, Andre Hastings. Touchdown reception, 18 yards. Steelers had to go to 4 wideouts due to the injuries of their backs. Cunningham, lots of pressure over the middle. And Darren Perry, interception return of 38 yards. Steelers still up by 4, 7-3. And then finally, John L. Williams comes in, takes the handoff over the guard, touchdown, 14-3 Steelers.
5 straight losses by Philadelphia, 3 straight victories by Tampa Bay.
A long handoff right, fake, keep, go left, safety gets out of the middle. And then there it is, Erickson down the middle of Charles Wilson. Look at him go, 71 yards. Tampa Bay looking good at the end of the season here. That's one. You think that was good? Let's do it again. This time, hey, JB, 44 yards. Where's the safety? He's nowhere to be found. Look at this, Tampa Bay, my God, my team next year to go to the Super Bowl.
Next year.
Next year.
Wilson just as exhausted as you are.
Yeah, that's fun, isn't it?
I love it. But the Rams and Bucks are both out of the playoffs. Hey, but still in the playoff picture, New England limited Marshall Faulk to 76 yards on the ground, total yardage that is, by Indianapolis, and the Patriots win at 28-13. At the Meadowlands, the Giants win their 4th consecutive game, now are at 7-7, the same record as the Philadelphia Eagles. Those two teams will meet next week at 4 o'clock right here on Fox. And also next week on Fox, Jimmy Johnson is supposed to make his decision about going to coaching or TV. Terry, you believe it?
The great Brad Rack.
Brad Rack
wants to know, what does Tampa Bay, Philadelphia, and Fox Sports Television have in common?
And the answer is?
Yes, Jimmy Johnson. We're going to find out, really, I don't know if we're really going to find out. He says he's going to say next week, folks, whether he's going to stay with us or whether he's going to coach again. And I tell you what, I got a feeling he's going to be right here. I hope he is.
Brad Rack, a.k.a. Karnak, will also push him into a decision. We'll be back with more Doctors Halftime after this. Brad Rack.
You're watching Fox NFL Sunday.
In San Diego, the 49ers lead the Chargers 21-3. And this first half highlight is brought to you by MCI, proof positive. And it's been mostly, in fact, just about all 49ers in the first half. Brent Jones is number 84.
Yeah, and remember, this was the second time they ran this play where Brent Jones looks like he's blocking. Then he gets lost in there. Everyone drops off. Steve Young sees him, throws him the ball, and Brent Jones dives in the end zone. But that was the second time on that drive that they completed that pass.
They even get lost well.
Yeah, they do. Well, they have so many guys going out. They get in a bunch, and they always have a short, a medium, and a deep guy, and they all, stem off their bunches, and it really puts pressure on guys like this, like Junior Seau. He's wondering, where are all these guys coming from, and then where'd they all go?
Doug Bryan set to kick it off. Andre Coleman is back deep for San Diego. Second half underway, 21-3 San Francisco. Coleman at the 3. Out of the pack. Coleman almost broke it. Flags on the play come flying from everywhere. Tripped up by the kicker, Doug Bryan.
I was just going to say, Doug Bryan was the guy. He was at that position where he was the last guy, and he made the tackle. That's always an embarrassment for any kick returner. You always tell him, get tackled, but don't let the kicker tackle you. And they're calling tripping
on the kicker
against the 49ers. Oh, he didn't tackle him. He tripped him?
Watch.
Oh, there's Doug Bryan right there. Oh, he did trip him. Oh, that was no tackle. I was looking at it raw eyes. I thought he tackled him.
During the return, 10 yards, first down.
Well, you got to get it done some way.
What is this? Do kickers practice this stuff? What the heck is that? It's a slide and a tackle. It's a hook slide.
It's also just a kick.
I have never seen that in my life.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, does the guy practice that? You think he goes out when the other guys are practicing? Does he go out and practice that kind of tackling?
Vicious-looking guy like that?
Oh, yeah. He's from De La Salle High School in the Bay Area. In fact, his high school team just won the championship last week.
Did they?
Yeah.
With moves like that, I bet.
But the only thing he can do to be president, he's gonna go for something here. I hope he's not gonna tape himself. I hope he's not gonna retape his sock
with clear tape.
Oh no. He'll probably even be in the tub tomorrow. Oh, look at that.
Well, that's the wrong leg. Take the other leg.
I think that's his tackling leg.
That's his
not
tripping
his
leg?
kickling leg.
That's his tripping leg.
Yeah. You see what? It's his left leg. No. He tripped with his right leg.
Sure.
He slid with his left leg.
I know all those moves.
Yeah, he was taping his sliding leg.
Well, all that I can understand. Tough-looking guy. Kickers. I think I was one of the first members of that fraternity.
Well, I know. You know, we're looking for all Madden players because we got our scouts and everyone out watching and looking for that stuff. And I thought when I saw it, I thought, oh, Brian made a tackle, and then I looked and that can't be. I mean,
You mean he was on the team and just got off?
Yeah, he was getting close. He was consideration, but that tackle was so bad and so ugly that it made the referee go to the telephone.
Yeah. Now they're playing Jeopardy music. They want to give him a touchdown. He would have gone.
Yeah, he would have gone. I think they're asking upstairs, has anyone up there ever seen a tackle like that?
Well, they call in the wrong place.
But here's Coleman, and the only guy there is Brian. I mean, he thinks he has touchdown, and he just gets tripped up. I guess you don't look for that. You look for a tackle.
Well, no.
You look for a helmet. You look for shoulder pads. You don't look for
that
this.
either.
No.
It's a bad hair day.
I think that's a good hair day.
Well, Tom White, the referee, is off the phone now.
Yeah, but who could he be talking to? I mean, who would Tom White be talking to? They would have to be explaining something to him
about the tripping.
And maybe they had to get a spot of the ball, where he was tackled.
The play clock at one end of the stadium is not operable. In this situation, the play clocks will be turned off, will be kept by the field judge on the field. And sometime in the future, if they become operable, we'll put them back in. But as of now, they'll be kept on the field.
Sometime in the future.
Well, yeah, you can't have one working and one not, because the offense can look at the play clock, so you'd only be able to look going one direction. In fact, they haven't turned that one off yet. The one to our right is off. The one to our left, that one there, is still on.
There's the one, obviously, that's off. There's the one, of course, that's on.
Maybe we have a mutiny here. Maybe they're not going to do it. Maybe they told the guy to do it, and he said no.
Guy just won't do it, you think, huh?
I think they're talking about the tackle.
I think they are, too. That tackle was made with such skill that the officials are still awestruck.
Yeah, I mean, we've had everything. I mean, we've had about a 10-minute delay. We've had the referee talking on the telephone. We've had 4 conferences. This is our 4th conference they've had. And let's call them back. This is number 5.
Another meeting.
This is breaking a record. This is most conferences on one play in the history of the National Football League.
This should be good. Tom is ready.
Wonder if something's
They're
operable.
making a correction in the tripping enforcement. We'll back it up 5 yards, which is the spot of the infraction. It'll still be a first down.
That's what I thought. I thought they were talking about the spot, trying to get the spot. But they moved it back to the spot of infraction. But then they ought to give a penalty for the infraction.
You think he thought he was going to cause all this?
No, but they still got that one clock on. It's operable. They left that on, and the inoperable one is still not working.
Not operable.
Oh, we got so many problems here.
Pass is caught by Shannon Mitchell over the bench. Shirt tail out.
This is what it looks like here. You see, he makes a good read. Shannon Mitchell catches it, gets control of it, and then he sees the bench and goes, whoa! And he jumped right over the bench. That's a heck of a move right there. Didn't hit anything.
2nd and 5. Means inside the 49er 40. Stopped by Tim McDonald. A couple short of a first down.
Yeah, he's getting Shannon Mitchell there as the H-back and the lead back. And he left him again. Now they go with their short yardage. They bring in 2 extra offensive linemen and a linebacker, Steve Hendrickson.
And they got both clocks working now.
Well, keyword being operable.
Operable, yes.
But I still don't know why they didn't give any penalty for the infraction. They put the ball back to the point of infraction, but I don't think they gave a penalty for it.
That much short of a first down. I don't know why they measured that.
Yeah, the Chargers already have their 2 extra offensive linemen, and like I said, old Steve Hendrickson, remember him, the linebacker and special teams guy for the 49ers? He comes in here as a fullback for the Chargers in short yardage.
Short, about a yard. There's Steve Hendrickson.
64.
He's in the stance and ready.
Are reporting as eligible for San Diego. 64-72.
This is.
Well, Steve Hendrickson was there ready. The lactic acid build up. He had to stretch out again.
He didn't get enough built up.
Yeah, penetration again. That time it was Bryant Young. Remember before Norton did it, this time you're going to see number 97, Bryant Young, knife through. You see he's going to knife through right there, and he caught it from the backside. They had the onside block pretty well, and Bryant Young is going to come right here from this backside, and he's going to knife right through here. You see they got that motion going. They're going to have the lead. And here comes Young right down the line. He got inside his guard and beat him there.
They're going on 4th. Humphreys back to throw. He'll have the first down to Papunu. And the Chargers move inside the 49er 35, about the 33.5-yard line.
Yeah, that was an interesting pattern. It was a lot like the 49ers are doing. They, kind of overload a zone. They had 3 guys in there, and you just find the uncovered guy who was Papunu.
49ers lead 21-3. We're in the 3rd quarter. Humphreys fumbled the exchange from center. Got it back. Courtney Hall is the center, playing with all kinds of injuries, but still playing well nevertheless.
Well, he has a bad knee and a torn bicep. Courtney Hall does, and it's tough to play in this league against those 2 tackles, Dana Stubblefield and Bryant Young, when you got all your parts working right.
3 wide receivers. Stubblefield's not playing. Remember, he twisted his knee. Pass is caught. That's close to another Charger first down by Mark Say, who was with the 49ers.
I think that's Mark Say's first catch of the day. He's going to be out there. He's up on top, and you just see him just run a little hook. Just comes up and stops right in front of Deion Sanders. Why Deion Sanders is playing so far off of Mark Say, I have no idea.
3rd and short. About a yard shy, maybe a little bit less.
In fact, I wonder about it's short yardage. I was going to say the 49ers are taking Deion Sanders out because it's short yardage.
Timeout taken by San Diego. So they'll only have 2 to work with down the stretch.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, where safety, reliability, performance, and value are never optional. By Taco Bell, tacos, burritos, and nachos cross the border. By Coors Light, naturally brewed, reach for the silver bullet, the pure taste of the Rockies. And by 1-800-COLLECT, the way to save on collect calls.
Southern California. A little bit cool now that the sun is hidden, but still an absolutely beautiful part of the world. 3rd and short. Means and Hendrickson behind Humphrey. Means maybe got enough. They needed only about a yard.
I think he got that, but in their short yardage, they've really been having a problem with that backside. I mean, every time some 49er is sneaking in that backside. And this time I think they get enough here, but you see they get the onside blocked pretty well. And then the backside is where they get the pressure. The onside's the right side, but you see from the left side right there, that's where they've been having all their problems in short yardage today.
That's Rhett Hall who came from the backside that time. Means the ball carrier around the corner and heads out of bounds. Inside the 49er 20.
I don't know, when you're down 21-3, I don't know, you know, maybe it's just different, but I think when you get outside like that and you come close to the sideline, you turn the ball upfield.
Especially when you're packing 245 pounds.
I think so, and you're running out there where they got, you know, defensive backs and Deion Sanders out there. I think you make those guys tackle.
2nd. They need 4. Means hit right at the line of scrimmage, and there's nothing there.
You say Bryant Young is still in there. Rhett Hall's playing for Dana Stubblefield. We saw Stubblefield get hurt just before the end of the half. Number 91 is Rhett Hall. 97 is Bryant Young.
Look at his helmet if we get a closer look in a minute. That's Rhett Hall. But Young's helmet has got all kind of streaks on it. Contact on every play.
And he's been using that cockeyed stance in there some, and they call that the mug technique.
Humphrey, 1st down. Ronnie Harmon.
You can't beat that field sound there, Pat. When Ronnie Harmon caught the ball, he ran right into the field sound. Well, this is the sound. There's the sound guy, that green thing. You know what worries me about that? Is you got a Fox guy down there with a sound thing, and he looks like he likes it. He wants some action. He gets too many of those hits, he won't be sticking out.
Means. Charger touchdown. Now that is a man who wanted to score.
That was the way to run it.
Yep.
Square up those shoulders and just take everything with you. That time before when he went out of bounds, that wasn't the way to do it.
Chargers might be going for 2. Humphreys is still in. They will go for 2. Means is out.
Yeah, with Means out, he needs another running back in there because he only has 10 guys in there in that huddle right now.
The enemy
he's
checks
coming
in.
The enemy can't know the play. He's the only back there. He wasn't even in the huddle.
Humphreys up under the center.
Has to be a pass.
Quarterback draw. Not successful. 21-9. Bobby Ross's team moves closer.
Here's what a wham block is. Here's Shannon Mitchell here. He's going to come in and wham block the nose tackle here. Natron Means runs right off that wham block. We watch Shannon Mitchell, number 89. He's going to come in and he's going to wham right there. And then Means sees that. That makes the hole for him, and Means does the rest of it.
And the rest of it is a Means wham. That's Dexter Carter. Still on his feet and finally wrestled down at about the 25. And here's a good look at what 245 pounds coming at you.
Yeah, we saw Hall getting whammed right there. And then watch Means wham Eric Davis. Hanks misses. He just runs right over Eric Davis right there. And then he's going to get that ball in the end zone. Burton Hanks misses a tackle. Eric Davis just gets run over.
That's the only way to describe it. and 10, San Francisco at their own 25. Here's Steve Young back to throw. Pass caught by Rice. Gordon close, but not close enough to stop Rice.
Yeah, if you look at who Steve Young threw to, you can see that he 10 to the wide receivers for 127 yards, 3 to the tight end, that was Brent Jones, and only 1 pass to the running back. So they came into this game and they're going to throw to their wide receivers. I think of that group, they've thrown to 3 wide receivers.
McCaffrey one. Flag on the play. Report from the Chargers is that Natron Means has a bruised knee, but will be back.
False start. Number 74. Offense, 5 yards. Moving prior to the snap. First down.
Yeah, Means looks like he's okay there. He's up and walking around anyway. Number 74 was Steve Wallace with the false start.
That'll make it 1st and 15, 21-9, San Francisco leading. Young, quick, outside Brent Jones. Jones gets to the Charger 35 before he's knocked out of bounds. More speed from Brent Jones than I remember.
Well, here's Brent Jones right here, and he's going to get to the point. The guy that he outruns is Junior Seau. You're going to see him just come out here on a short out. Watch Seau here come to get him. He just puts his straight arms him. Then he does outrun a couple of guys. But Junior Seau isn't Junior Seau. No. I mean, when you can just put your arm out like that and stop Junior Seau, he's not the Junior Seau I've heard about.
Reverse to Rice. Inside the 20 to about the 18 before he's down by Stanley Richard.
I think a lot of players can learn from Jerry Rice that when you get close to that sideline, you don't have to go out of bounds. I think so many runners are going out of bounds now that the defenses expect you to go out of bounds. Good block there, good block there. But see, when he gets here, now instead of going out of bounds, he cuts back, and by cutting back, he makes about 8 more yards. I think there's a lesson in that for a lot of players in this league.
A lot of things Jerry Rice does are lessons. On first down, it's Ricky Waters. Inside the 15, about the 14.
That's what Darian Gordon was talking about yesterday. You know, Darian Gordon, who's playing a lot against Jerry Rice, is from Stanford. And when he was at Stanford, he worked out with Jerry Rice. And he said he learned a lot from him. And he said after the game, he said he won't talk to him before the game, but after the game, he hopes that in this game he can just earn Jerry Rice's respect.
2nd and 6. Here's Steve Young quickly outside. That's to Rice again to the 5.
You know, the thing the 49ers do better than anyone else is run after the catch. If you look at this, their total pass yards, they've caught for 217, but 132 of that is rack or run after the catch. So they almost, you know, they catch the ball and then almost double it after they catch it.
1st and goal at the 6. Waters to the 3. Leslie O'Neal.
There's George Seifert. George doesn't look like he's going to show any emotion. You'd think, you know, with a 21-9 lead, you're down there in the 3-yard line, you'd kind of be happy about that, George. George isn't going to be happy about anything this year, I think, until they beat Dallas or win a championship game or win a Super Bowl game.
That is his focus. Ricky Waters.
Don't go out of bounds.
Did go out of bounds.
I know.
About the 4.
That's the type of thing that they do.
From the 3-yard line, their touchdowns, 6 by Steve Young, 3 by William Floyd, 3 by Ricky Waters, 5 passing touchdowns. They're at the 6th now. They lost yardage on that play.
But I was talking about that lesson that Jerry Rice did on that reverse. I think Ricky Waters could learn that lesson.
3rd down. Waters. It wasn't there. Waters got a yard, maybe stopped by Sean Lee. But here comes Doug Bryan. Attempt a field goal.
As we were just talking about, this is the area. And again, the 49ers, I think, are the best team in football. I think their offense is the best offense in football. But if you say any area that they have trouble in, it's this area, and specifically running in this area.
Do you think it has anything to do with the size of the offensive linemen? They're all very talented, but not very big.
Yeah, it could.
The field goal from 22 yards away. Successful by Bryan, 24-9. Mike Shanahan on the right, talking with his quarterback, Steve Young. The 2 architects of the 49er offense.
I think they're arguing. I think because Steve Young came off the field and he was really mad. They ran that run on 2nd down, that run on 3rd down. I don't think he was happy with the play call.
Coleman this time is hit hard and taken down by Anthony Peterson. And the Chargers have a long way to go. 4:07 left, 3rd quarter. Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego, where the 49ers lead the Chargers 24-9. 4:07 left to play in the 3rd quarter. Dana Stubblefield saw him leave just before halftime with a bandage around his knee. Now he's back on the sideline in street clothes, so obviously he won't be back. Humphreys has the ball batted down. Bryant Young had another strong game today.
Yeah, he and Stubblefield have really been powerful in that middle. You're going to see him get the rush straight up the middle, number 97, and you just get up as far as you can, and then when you can't get any further, when he throws, just put your hand up. Now, one thing, Young got his right hand up, but Stan Humphries threw that ball too low. I mean, you can't throw it through that lane.
Bieniemy is the deep back. Humphries fake to him. Got a man open. Shannon Mitchell gets into 49er territory. The rookie free agent tight end from Georgia.
Here he is. He's right here. He's lined up like a back. And what they're doing is they're working a zone where Deion Sanders would be. What they want to do is Deion Sanders plays man in a zone. So they want to run Deion off, run off on that side, and then get another receiver into that area.
1st and 10 Chargers at the 49er 42. Humphries back to throw it again. Going deep and throws it out of bounds. Tony Martin. Right now for a McDonald's game break. Let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio.
All right, Pat, earlier today, Minnesota not only lost the game, will make that Buffalo not only lost the game, but its starting quarterback Jim Kelly hit here by Henry Thomas, the tackle of the Vikings late in the game. Early diagnosis, sprained left knee, and MRI will be conducted tomorrow. Let's take it back to San Diego. Pat and John.
2nd and 10 Chargers. Eric Bieniemy. Stopped by Gary Plummer.
Maybe we thought that Natron Means was okay and was going to get back in there. Remember on that touchdown play, he hurt his knee, and maybe that knee isn't okay.
I don't even see him.
Yeah, he's right down in front. I can see him. He's about the 45-yard line, standing there in the sideline. He has his helmet on and strapped, so his mind is saying he can play.
3rd and 7. 4 wide receivers for the Chargers this time. 49ers blitz. It's picked up pretty well. The man open, wide open. He had a first down. Finally spun back to get it. Tony Martin. Deion Sanders on the stop.
You're going to see Tony Martin here, and then you get 3 wide receivers. See in that bunch, you get a short one, here's a short one, here's a medium one, and here's a deep one. So you got short. If they come up short, then you're going to hit the medium. See, they came up short, and then Martin was just wide open. And if they all go off, then they can hit the short guy. If they come up, they can hit the deep guy. So you kind of get that thing in layers.
1st and 10. Means is back in the backfield for the Chargers. Humphries gets it out to Means. Gets inside the 25 to about the 23 before he is wrestled down by Lee Woodall and Gary Plummer.
One thing about Means, when he gets the ball and he gets his shoulder squared, it takes a whole bunch of guys to jump on him to get him to hit the ground. I mean, he is a bigger running back. You have 5'10", 245 pounds, and those guys that are short, those short, heavy guys, are the toughest guys to tackle.
That's a lot of weight packed into a small package.
Yeah,
short package. It's
right.
not small.
No, but you don't have a lot of area to hit there and grab onto.
2nd down and 4. Needs the ball carrier. Well, if you get him from behind, as Tim McDonald did.
That's the secret there. You have to get him before he gets started, and that's what happens to these Chargers when they start to run. Then they start getting a safety up in there. See, and this is why you better stop him before he gets going, because if he gets going, it takes a whole bunch of them to get you. And then the next play, Bryant Young got him, and they blitzed Tim McDonald. They brought another safety in there.
And a little rodeo move by Merton Hanks.
He was trying everything.
Yeah. 3rd and 5.
Everything to get Means down the ground.
Ronnie Harmon is the man on the move. Pass is caught. That'll be another Charger first down. Clock running with about 10 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, but the Chargers are on the move.
You see, Harmon comes in motion. He works to the outside. Then the outside receiver comes to the inside. Stan Humphries hits him perfectly.
And that's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. The 49ers 24, the Chargers 9. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages from your local Fox station. A quarter to go, and the 49ers leading 24-9, but the Chargers with a first down at the San Francisco 16. Stan Humphries. 8 out of 10 in the 2nd half. Gets it out to Shannon Mitchell. Short game to about the 13. Taken down by Lee Woodall.
Tackle number 54, Lee Woodall.
Yeah, this is the thing that the Chargers had to do. They got a little running going. You know, Means started going crazy, you know, ran that touchdown. Then they got him going. Now they can get their passing game going. But if they don't have a running game going, their passing game can't carry it.
2nd and 8, Bieniemy behind Humphries. Flag on the play. Chargers might have jumped.
You see that face mask on Harry Swain there?
That is a monster.
False start. Number 84, offense, 5 yards, moving prior to the snap. Still 2nd down.
Talk about a cage.
Yeah, well, he injured his eye orbit. In fact, a year ago, he broke his eye orbit. So that cage is there to protect his eye, the orbit or the bones around the eye that forms the eye socket. So you got a lot of protection up in there.
Tell you what, that thing's got to be heavy. Here's Humphrey. Down he goes. Bryant Young again.
Bryant Young has really been giving this Charger team trouble today, not only on the pass and the pass rush, but also on the run. You just watch him here, and again, he's playing nose tackle now. And you see him, he starts up against the center and the guard. They both leave him. The guard goes to the right, Courtney Hall goes to the left, and Brian Young just runs straight up the middle.
That's a funny looking move. They both just leave him.
Yeah, that's confusing. That's not being on the same page.
Ronnie Harmon in the backfield, and Humphreys drops to throw it. Incomplete. No flag intended for Harmon. Humphreys was hurried. Tim Harris again.
Well, he's been hurried all day. You see, he's only been sacked twice. Been hurried 8 times, been knocked down 4. Had 1 batted pass and 1 interception. The 49ers have been hurrying, but when he's had time, and especially in the second half, he's gotten some things going.
John Carney from 42 yards away. Gilbert is the holder, the backup quarterback. Carney wide right. And the lead remains 24-9 San Francisco.
Now, the 5 greatest players ever. Watch some film this week and change some stuff. At number 5, Randall Cunningham, the punter. Number 4 is not a player, it's a tackle. Look at that. Number 3, Reggie White. Here comes the judge. But falling to number 2, you almost can't accept it. Al Del Greco. Which means number 1 goes to... I'm sorry, I can't go on. This is the hat.
To Stanley from Dion. I wonder what it is. Oh, it's Dion's shoe. It's Deion Sanders' shoe. This is the shoe that Dion wears in the field. And now it's mine, all mine, and nobody can take it from me. Happy holidays to me.
Prepare yourself for a journey that's out of this world. This Tuesday night, join William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, Superman's Dean Cain, and Carrie Fisher for a look at more than 40 years of classic sci-fi television. Watch Science Fiction, A Journey into the Unknown, Tuesday at 8 Eastern, 7 Central on Fox. Steve Young back to throw it. Gets it to Ricky Waters. Past the 35 to the 36. Tackled by Junior Seau.
He's really doing a good job for the 49ers now is Harris Barton. He had that torn tricep. Then he came back. He thought maybe a little too early. But lately, in the last couple of games, he's really been blocking well. I mean, just watch him here in his pass protection. And you just see he's right there. I mean, he has his arms up. He's square. I mean, his guy is not getting a sniff. And that's Chris Mims, who was really a pretty good player.
Harris had a concussion last week, but snapped back from that. Steve Young to John Taylor to the 44. Stanley Richard made the stop.
Yeah, and Steve Young was saying yesterday how happy he is to have Harris Barton back there. He says, that's my backside.
Since he is left-handed.
Here he is again, and you just watch him block Mims. You see, he tries to get that arm under. He just rides him right out, stays with his guy all the time.
That's great footwork.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Eagle. Test drive an Eagle Vision at your local Eagle dealer. By Digital. By Panasonic Smooth Operator wet-dry erasers. Smoother than you ever thought you'd be. And by Wendy's. After 25 years, quality is still our recipe.
'49er 1st and 10. Floyd to the 40.
Number 40, William
Stopped by David Griggs. Steve Young has hit 7 straight passes. 49ers lead at 24-9.
You know, Ricky Jackson was talking about Steve Young the other day, and he says that, you know, the difference between night and day and all that stuff. He said Steve Young is day, everyone else is night. So I think that's Ricky Jackson's way of saying he's the most valuable player in this league.
He can light it up. 8 straight, I'm sorry. Right now for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio.
Pat, a sustained drive by Arizona. 10 plays, 80 yards, culminated with that Ron Moore 1-yard touchdown run. And Arizona keeping the playoff hopes alive on top of Washington, 14-6, that in the fourth. Back to San Diego. Pat Summerall and John Madden.
3rd and short at Jack Murphy Stadium. Jerry Rice has gone over 100 yards receiving for the 48th time in his career with that catch a moment ago. Second best in NFL history. That's Floyd. Burrowing close to a first down. Not quite, I don't think.
And that's the 49ers' problem. They still get that short yardage situation, and they come up with too many not quites. You know, when you get 3rd and short, you got to bang that thing in there. And maybe it is a line, maybe it's the type of runs they run. This is kind of an inside handoff lead type of thing. No one blocks Leslie O'Neal. He gets penetration. So now they have to go for it on 4th down. Well, the quarterback sneak.
Steve Young left, and he'll get it. That's the most consistent running play they have.
Yeah, and short yardage. Watch Steve Young. He's going to find a gap. It looks like he's going to come here and find it. Look at this gap right here. I think is the one he's going to hit. Because, see, he waits a little, waits for Jesse Sapola to come down, and then he runs right off number 61's block. Watch him. He's going to bank himself off Steve Wallace. He runs into Steve Wallace and then just banks himself back into Bart Oates. But that worries you when the only way you can pick up a first down on short yardage is your quarterback sneaking all the time. And somewhere your fullback has to be able to bang it in there for you.
Especially when fullback weighs 245 pounds. You'd figure that's the way to get it. 4th most career rushing yards.
And I'll tell you, he doesn't like that. I mean, I have never met a quarterback in my life. Now, Steve Young, I know he's in his zone. I know he's hot. I know he's all these things. But I have never met a quarterback in my life that liked the quarterback sneak.
He's not in a running zone. He doesn't want to be. He is, but he doesn't want to be.
He runs a nice quarterback sneak.
Ricky Waters. Inside the Charger 30. Stopped by Stanley Richard.
You say, why don't they run a play like that on short yardage? Watch William Floyd block on this one because the defenses are different on first down than they are short yardage and goal line. Here they have to play pass. They're getting up the field. They're looser in the line, and you can hit things like this. But it's when they all get tight when you have to be able to pound it in there.
Waters got 5, 2nd and 5. Young. Jerry Rice to about the 9. Stopped by Darian Gordon. Young was hit as he let it go.
He has his helmets on sideways there. I mean, he is going to get hit as he let it go. You see, Harris Barton there was his man we were talking about earlier. That was Chris Mims there. He went right around Harris Barton. Steve Young was talking about how comfortable he feels from that backside protection. He didn't feel comfortable on that one. He almost got his helmet knocked off.
First and goal after 9. Steve Young. Ricky Waters. Diving.
I had the cone, baby! Oh, no.
You heard him say, I had the cone.
I think he called the official baby. He said, I hit the cone, baby.
That's why he didn't get the touchdown.
That sound guy down there is smiling too much.
Liking it.
Let's see if he does. Again, the thing is with the cone or the pylon is out of bounds.
That's right.
The pylon's out of bounds, so he has to have the ball inside the pylon. So he hit the pylon, he did, but the pylon's out of bounds.
About a half yard short. Floyd. Touchdown 49ers. Tired of hearing that stuff that we can't score running unless it's a quarterback. Floyd gets the touchdown.
That's what they have to be able to do. You know, just take that big fullback and just put it in there. Wearing one of those Band-Aids on his nose,
Yep.
William Floyd is. That opens your sinus and helps your breathing.
Notice you had one on last night. Did it help?
It helped. I tried one, and I thought, those things, I don't believe they help it, but I tried it, and it worked. I haven't breathed through my nose in years.
I haven't either. The extra point is good.
There it is. You see how that thing opens the sinus. That just pulls the sinuses open, and you can breathe through your nose better. Then if they call you for short yardage, you can just run like that if you got that thing on your nose.
I need a wider size. One more time, the 49ers are rolling, 31-9. Bryant's kick handled by Andre Coleman to the 27. Antonio Goss made the stop. I don't know what he said, but I know he can breathe.
He says the sinus.
Don't forget, the Pittsburgh Steelers will be here to take on the Chargers Saturday.
Got some hot dogs in the cage.
Those are bad-looking hot dogs. You got the Simpsons
Yeah.
out there, huh?
Yeah.
I think there's a special 1 hour Simpsons this week I heard something about.
I think I said it.
That's where I heard it. I think it was the Christmas special. I think that was when I said ho, ho, ho.
It was. And I didn't know it was you. Ronnie Harmon tackled by Ken Norton.
You know, I think Ken Norton is finally starting to feel comfortable in this 49er defense the last couple weeks. He's played pretty well, you know, a couple weeks ago and last week, and today maybe played his best game.
Humphrey. Open is Tony Martin. Stepped out of bounds.
Deion Sanders must be playing zone defense because he's laying off way too far. I mean, that's not like Deion. I mean, Deion is here, and he's so far off of Tony Martin that Tony Martin can run, but Deion Sanders is probably the fastest defensive back in the league. Now, he wasn't man-to-man there. He was playing some form of zone that he admittedly doesn't play very well.
Humphreys back to throw it. Pass is caught by Papunu.
You know, last week we were talking to Tim McDonald, and he said that he was laughing at Deion Sanders, and all the players like Deion Sanders and respect him, but he'll brag about playing a no-hitter.
Humphreys. Pass complete to Martin again. Martin out of bounds.
Again, the 49ers are going into zone defense, and here's Martin. Here's Deion there, number 21. You see he's playing off. See, he's looking back at the quarterback. Now he looks back here. Now Martin can do anything in behind him. Once he gets behind him, he can just find that hole, and Humphreys hits him perfectly.
They've had more success than anybody we've seen against the 49ers against number 21.
Well, usually number 21's playing man-to-man. He's been playing zone here, and he's playing a soft zone.
25 seconds. And both clocks will start at the same time.
And Deion Sanders doesn't like to play zone, and as I said before, he doesn't play it very well. This is not his thing. In fact, he doesn't look like he's very happy about it. Or maybe it's just a score of 31-9.
That could have something to do with it.
Thank you.
Thank you. What did he say?
Oh, I don't know. They've been messing with that clock and the time and how much time there is all day.
This game is presented by authority of the National Football League, is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the San Diego Chargers and the National Football League is prohibited. Humphreys back to throw it. Could have been close to the 49er goal line. Mark Say. Humphreys was high.
That's one problem the Chargers have been having this year is their wide receivers dropping passes. A couple of weeks ago, Tony Martin dropped 2 touchdown passes. Sean Jefferson has dropped some passes. Mark Say dropped some passes, and they just aren't good enough to drop passes.
Here's Humphries back again. Gets away from pressure. Throws it out of the end zone. Flag on the play.
Humphries pass.
Tim Harris was close to Stan Humphries. Might have hit him late.
Yep, you're right, he did. You know, Tim Harris, 49ers signed him a few weeks ago. They pay him $10,000 a game and $5,000 for a sack.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. San Francisco.
Do they take anything away when he gets a penalty?
I don't think so, but he did earn $5,000 today because he had 1 sack. So he's up to $15,000 worth of work today. And like I said, I don't think when he has a penalty, I don't think they take anything away.
First and goal at the 9, 3 wide receivers. Ronnie Harmon in the backfield. He'll come out of there. Harmon comes out with the draw play and might have lost a yard.
Yeah, it looked like Red Hall saw that play.
They're getting ready.
Well, that cannon, yeah. You know, that thing is on the visitor's side. I remember when I used to come here as a coach, it'd drive you crazy because it's on your sideline and it goes off anytime the Chargers score.
Humphries in a hurry. Incomplete. Intended for Mark Say. They've got a director's chair over there by that cannon with the name on it, Cannon.
I'll tell you, every visiting team hates that cannon, and probably the crew. I don't know, the guy's probably a nice guy, but first of all, you're mad when they score, and then you're mad when they blast that thing right at you. Then a lot of guys jump when the Chargers have scored in this field.
3rd. And they're still at the 10. Here comes the 49er blitz. Humphries gets the pass down to about the 2 to Tony Martin. Eric Davis. That'll make it 4th and goal from there. No cannon yet. Charger timeout. They grew up on the mean streets of New York. Now they're fighting to take them back. Tonight, CY critics are saying the music and the attitude of this show make it the Miami Vice of the 90s. New York Undercover. Catch a special presentation tonight at 7 Eastern, 6 Central on the Fox. Fourth and goal at the 2, but I don't think it matters to him.
Oh, I think that's his way to root that the Chargers get in so the cannon will go off. We've had more delays by officials today than any game I can remember.
The enemy is the deep back. A lot of motion and moving. Flag on the play. The pass is caught for a touchdown by Martin, but a penalty marker down.
He doesn't know whether to let that cannon go or not. If it's against the 49ers, it'll go.
It is. Go. Fire. Shoot. Let them have it. They're over there. Shoot. I heard the cannon roar.
That guy was going to wait until he heard it from the official. You shoot your cannon and you clean out your barrel.
And you reload. They go on for 2. Humphrey. Pass is intercepted by Deion Sanders.
You can't run it back. I mean, he can, but it won't count.
He just did a little high step and quit.
Had it been the play before, and the touchdown play, of course, he could take it out of there and run it all the way back, which Deion Sanders is capable of.
Yep.
But on the two-point play, when you go for 2 points and you intercept the ball, then the play is over. You can't run that back.
In college, you can.
This is what the cannon looks like.
Whoa.
Boy, that blows some stuff out of there.
Yeah.
No wonder that makes guys jump. I think there was a penalty on that play. They're bringing it back.
It looks like there was.
There have to be a penalty against the 49ers.
Well, they're moving it to the 1-yard line.
Illegal contact, number 36, half the distance to the goal, and we'll replay the try.
Replay the try. How many times have you heard that?
Yeah. Replay the try for extra point, or the try for 2-point.
Again, it's Eric Bieniemy. And now what's wrong?
They have to have another conference.
Someday we're going to play.
You'd think they'd get all their stuff straight before they came out here.
Cannon man is ready again. On just an extra point, he doesn't fire it. But if it's 2, he's going to. You bring all the powder, you want to use it. The enemy. Well, reload again. Yeah, no chance. Right now, let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio.
Well, Pat, the cannon won't go off there, but it is for Heath Schuler. He likes the big play. Here he finds Henry Eller for 52 of his 176 receiving yards and the score. Unfortunately, the 2-point conversion fails, so Washington trails by 2 with less than 4 minutes to play. Let's take it back to San Diego. Pat Summerall and John Madden.
Back here at Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego, it's 31-15. San Francisco leading. 5:28 left to play.
And you'd think the Chargers special teams there huddling up are probably thinking of an onside kick.
And the 49ers certainly are expecting.
You can see they got what they call their hands team in there. Brent Jones, McDonald, McCaffrey, Jerry Rice is in there. Ricky Waters.
Merton Hanks.
Nate Singleton. So you got an onside kick team and then an onside prevent team. A lot of times you'll read this and the Chargers could see an onside kick prevent team and decide just to kick the ball deep or to try and kick it in a deeper hole and get the recovery there rather than a true onside kick.
Dexter Carter back deep, way by himself for the 49ers. Gonna kick it away, like you said.
Get out of here! Get out of here!
At the 10. Dexter gets out of bounds at the 29-yard line where the 49ers take over.
At the 10-yard line.
San Diego only has 1 timeout remaining. And you watched that yesterday happen to Dallas down in the stretch when they had no timeouts remaining, and it was just hard to maneuver.
And you see the Chargers are going to have to maneuver without Natron Means. Remember that touchdown he scored? He hurt his knee then. Thought it was okay. He came in and played a couple plays after that, but I guess he just decided that it wasn't.
Handoff is to Floyd. Floyd for about 7 again. Let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio.
All right, Pat, and just that quickly, Washington scores again on their next possession. Chip Lohmiller having a rough day, but he scores here on a 21-yard field goal, and the Redskins are in front by 1. Let's take it back down the road to San Diego. At Summerall, John Madden.
49er ball, second and about 3. Steve Young still throwing. Gets to Jerry Rice. Rice will get the 49er first down. Dragged down by Darian Gordon.
You know, one thing Darian Gordon was saying about Jerry Rice is you never want to let him get even with you, because when he's even, he's leaving. And that's one thing that Jerry Rice does. He catches the ball and he's always leaving. I mean, a lot of guys catch it and they get so satisfied with their catch that they're ready to go down. I mean, Jerry Rice runs a pattern, gets open, catches the ball, and then leaves.
He's caught 10 passes today. First and 10, 49ers. Young gives to Ricky Waters. Waters spun it around for maybe a yard. Junior Seau is the first man to hit him.
Junior Seau has been having a tough day. He has that stinger in that left shoulder and arm, and then he hurt his left knee early in the game, and he's sure not the Junior Seau today that we've seen before.
You wonder at what point do you take a Junior Seau out of a game like this when he's not playing his best and can't play his best.
They probably heard you because they just took him out on that play.
Here's Steve Young. That's Rice again. And there's no running out of bounds for Jerry Rice.
No, there's always running. I mean, there's always taking the ball and and running the thing forward. Always thinking of getting first downs, breaking tackles, scoring touchdowns. Always playing the game. And he knows how to play the game, and he loves to play the game. I mean, he goes out there and plays and has fun, and sometimes we forget that it's still a game and you ought to have fun, and that's what it's all about.
There may have been better players, better receivers than Jerry Rice. I can't remember ever seeing one.
I don't think so. If I had to pick them, the ones I know, I would say Jerry Rice is the best wide receiver that ever played the game.
He has the numbers to go with it. That's Floyd again. But numbers aren't everything. It's the way he plays and the spirit that he plays the game in.
Yeah, and the way he works and the way he practices and the influence that he has on other players and just the confidence. I mean, I think if you're a quarterback like a Steve Young and you're bringing Jerry Rice out there with you, I think that's a certain amount of confidence. And maybe that's why you could be 24 for 31 and have 12 straight completions.
299 yards and 2 touchdowns. Well, the great-grandson, I think, of Brigham Young. I'm not sure about the greats. I know about the Brigham Young part. But great certainly would fit as an adjective to describe his performance today and this year. And his.
I was saying the other day that Steve Young was probably one of those guys that just never did anything wrong. Probably always got an A in deportment. And he didn't know what deportment meant. He said, well, I never took sociology class. Well, deportment means you're good. You're being good in school.
How you behave.
Yeah. How you behave.
What did you get in deportment?
I never did too well in deportment.
I was below average too.
Yeah, I never flunked deportment, but I was like, C and D.
Borderline.
No charge timeout to San Diego. They can come off that timeout because of the measurement. Therefore, they are not charged. 4th down.
Come off a timeout.
I think he said they could, and then I think San Diego said they wanted a timeout.
Well, they still got one left if they don't come off it.
He said what? Steve Young's been going on and off the field. Jerry Rice went on and off the field. The officials are saying they can come off. Now he's going to talk again. They did. I knew they took that timeout.
You can't come off. You just can't come off like that.
I knew it right when he said it. San Diego asked for a timeout. I knew it. That was going to embarrass him, so he wanted to wait.
2:21 left to play in the game. 31-15. 49ers lead.
That's Gary Kubiak right there, right next to Steve Young, who Steve Young credits him with a lot of help. Of just being an ex-quarterback. Remember when he was a backup for years to John Elway? And Remember, Bill Walsh always said that he thought Gary Kubiak would be a good coach. And
don't forget, next Saturday at 12 noon Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific, to start your day with our Fox NFL special as JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy get you ready for an NFC Central matchup between the Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions, a game which promises many playoff implications. It's a Fox NFL special next Saturday, and it's right here on Fox.
They're even holding the babies up.
Yeah.
Look at that. Do you hold the babies up? Can you believe what they just did?
4th and 1. Young to Rice. And he trips out of bounds and gets the first down.
That's the confidence I was talking about right there. That you just bring a guy out like Jerry Rice, and whatever the situation, you have confidence in him.
13 straight for Steve Young.
Look at this ratio. This is an amazing statistic of the active quarterbacks, their touchdown to interception ratio. In other words, for every time they throw an interception, how many touchdowns do they throw? Steve Young, every time he throws an interception, he throws 2 touchdowns. Joe Montana was 1-9, Dan Marino 1-7, Randall Cunningham 1-4, and Jim Kelly 1-4. But I think that 2 is probably the best that's ever been.
Well, I think it is. Those are the active quarterbacks. Look at against the Hall of Fame quarterbacks.
Yeah, Roger Staubach of the Hall of Fame was the closer 1-4 every touchdown pass. He'd have 1-4 touchdowns to interceptions. And Steve Young, if you put him in with the Hall of Fame quarterbacks, his TD interception ratio would be better than any of them.
Well, that's the kind of year he's had, kind of career he's had.
Yeah,
you forget about those early years at Tampa Bay.
Yeah, and he just takes care of the ball well, and he makes good reads and makes good decisions, and he makes them quickly. How did those guys get here? And how did they get such good seats? Right down here in the 50-yard line, there's 49er fans and 49er jerseys in front of us. You wonder how they got such good seats.
I don't think they've been there all day.
Well, maybe that's the secret.
Some of those people with the Charger attire on exited, and the 49ers came to get closer. That's Ricky Watters. Got a first down. Acted as if he were a little bit disgusted with himself that time for running out of bounds.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that he has to work on, is some moves on the sidelines to stay out of bounds. Now I know, the score 31-15, that maybe that's not important right now, but I think as they go, the 49ers are getting prepared to win a Super Bowl. That's what their goal is. I think those things are important in that goal.
That's Waters again. Leans to the 30. Leslie O'Neal was number 91, who stopped him. And we'll get the 2-minute warning. The 49ers again impressive. Lead 31-15. 31-15 San Francisco. For those of you expecting to see a special presentation of New York Undercover, it'll be seen following football, except on the West Coast, where it'll be seen at its regular time. Following that, back-to-back episodes of The Simpsons. 2 minutes left at Jack Murphy Stadium. 49ers 31, Chargers 15.
Well, the 49ers surely look like a playoff team, and the Chargers surely don't look like a playoff team today.
Elvis Gerbach, the quarterback, left it on the ground.
I think that's the thing. I think the 49ers are on that road. That road that's taking them, leading them into the playoffs, getting them into position to have a bye the first week, and all those things, and be peaking as they go into the playoffs.
Steve Wallet with the double helmet.
He said that thing really gives him a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
That
he has some nicknames that go with it too.
They call him Kazoo or something.
Yeah.
Kazoo.
Big head. Derek LaVille and Adam Walker are the two runners. That's Walker.
Number 27.
Gary Plummer, the ex-Charger, and today they won one for him. They won one for Ricky Jackson, who came from the Saints. Toy Cook from the same team. Deion Sanders from the Falcons. They won two for Charles Mann. They beat the Redskins. For Ken Norton, they beat the Cowboys. And today, for Gary Plummer, they beat the Chargers. I think they had other reasons as well.
Yeah, they did. They had a lot of other reasons, but I think we're going to see more and more of that with this salary cap and free agency, that guys are going to be playing against their ex-teammates all over the place.
4th and 3. Adam Walker, the ball carrier, didn't get the first down. The Chargers send their offensive unit back on the field with no timeouts left.
And I think that maybe the 49ers and Carmen Policy and Eddie DeBartolo, John McVay, I think they have the right idea that you keep your core, you get a good offensive core and you keep them, and then you go out and through free agency you build a defense. Early in the season your offense carries you, and then you hope that your defense will mold together by the end of the season.
Don't you think that's a pretty good philosophy? Here's Humphries back to throw it. Gets it out to Ronnie Harmon. It takes longer, I think, to mold a player into an offensive unit than it does into a defensive unit.
Yeah, and you have to have the offense and you have to have the quarterback, and if you don't have it, it's hard to be a championship team. Like I say, the Chargers are just one game away from clinching their division, but they're not playing playoff football.
No.
The 49ers have clinched, and they are playing playoff football.
And after watching the 49ers today, I still think I agree with you that they are the best team around. Pass incomplete.
Yeah, I think right now, I think the 49ers are playing the best football in the league, and the gap is widening. I thought it was close between they and the Cowboys. But the Cowboys, those injuries are starting to catch up with them, and losing yesterday, slips them down another notch.
3rd down, San Diego. Humphries to throw it. Settle out to Tony Martin. Got it down at the 20 of San Francisco, stopped by Dana Hall. Today's game is being produced by Bob Stenner and directed by Sandy Grossman. Another look.
And that's one thing that Tony Martin can do, and he did it to Eric Davis. If you're even, you're leaving. Martin can run, and he can get open deep, and he got even, and then he left.
Here's Humphries again. Pass is picked off by Deion Sanders.
And he's leaving.
And Deion makes the high step.
He's not done yet.
89 yards, Deion Sanders. Still have 32 seconds left.
Anytime he gets his hands on the ball, the guy can score with it.
Yeah.
Everyone's saying you ought to play some offense, you ought to be a kick returner. Because when he gets the ball, they don't even get close to him.
He says, I'm about entertainment.
I guess that's what that is.
I guess. O'Brien will attempt the extra point. Doug Bryan, who made that memorable tackle on a kickoff earlier. Deion Sanders just took it 89 yards for a 38-15 San Francisco lead. I'd like to welcome those of you who watched Arizona come back and beat Washington 17-15. Welcome to Jack Murphy Stadium, and look what just happened.
Yep, the Chargers were ready to get another touchdown here, but they made a mistake of throwing on Deion Sanders. And when Deion catches it, I mean, Deion Sanders is the fastest player in this league. And when he catches it, he just runs it straight up and no one can get him. I bet you in his life he was never it.
I bet not.
That's the end of the dance. That's the period on the period on the thing, and then he hugs the coach. Because he was getting, until that point, I felt Deion Sanders was getting bored with this game.
Yeah.
The 49ers were playing a lot more zone than he likes to, and he was kind of out of it, just sitting there, and they were catching some passes in front of him and stuff, and looked like he was a little down, but that got the life back in him.
Bryan's kickoff will be handled by Andre Coleman. And down he goes with 25 seconds left. Anthony Peterson made the stop. 38-15 San Francisco.
You know, Deion's not even breathing hard. Some guys run 100 yards, and you know it takes them a while. Especially, you know, baseball players. You ever see a baseball player run a triple?
That baseball player.
Yeah, and then they have to stand there on third base for about a half hour to get some oxygen back in their head. I mean, he ran 100 yards. He's back out there. He's not even breathing heavy.
25 seconds left. Zan Humphreys back to throw again. Pass caught by Ronnie Harmon.
I think if I were the Chargers, I'd just run that clock out and just get off the field and go home and think about next one.
That's what's going to happen coming up on the NASDAQ Stock Market Post-Game Report. JB, Terry, and Howie will get you up to date on all of today's action with scores and highlights from around the NFL. That's all next on the NASDAQ Stock Market Post-Game Report. Final score here at Jack Murphy Stadium. San Francisco 38, San Diego 15. Coming up again, the NASDAQ Stock Market Post-Game Report. JB, Terry, and Howie will get you up to date on today's NFL action, scores and highlights from around the NFL. And that's all coming up next on the NASDAQ Stock Market Post-Game Report.
And welcome to the NASDAQ post-game show along with Terry Bradshaw. I am James Brown, and coming up after this, except on the West Coast, a special edition of New York Undercover, followed by The Simpsons at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. And we'll get some comments from Terry in just a second, but let me rip through the scores around the National Football League. A big victory by Green Bay today. Packers strengthen their playoff chances 40-3 over the Bears. Buffalo loses to Minnesota 21-17. Not only did Buffalo lose the game, but they also lost Jim Kelly, sprained knee, and MRI tomorrow to get further details on that one. In Pittsburgh, Philadelphia loses its 5th straight. The Steelers win it by 11 there. In Tampa Bay, 3rd straight victory for Tampa Bay. First time in 12 years that has happened. Both teams, though, are out of the playoffs. New York Giants win their 4th straight. They are still very much in the playoffs. Their record 7-7, the same as Philadelphia. They meet Philadelphia next week at 4 o'clock right here on Fox. In New England, Bill Parcells' Patriots still alive. 15-point victory over the Colts. Down in San Diego, absolutely no contest. Deion Sanders, an 89-yard interception return for the touchdown. He's got 5 picks on the year, 3 touchdowns. San Francisco is rolling. In Tempe, Arizona, the Washington Redskins lose a second heartbreaker to the Arizona Cardinals. Lost the first one 19-16 in overtime. Today, a final game-ending field goal wins it for the Arizona Cardinals. Buddy is still in the playoff hunt. And the Raiders, 23-13 over the Broncos. This one late in the 4th quarter. Art Shell has got the Raiders playing well. And in Houston, a heartbreaking loss for the Oilers. Lose it by 2 to the Seahawks. And as we turn to Terry Bradshaw, kind of an interesting week 15. Some broad thoughts on the day.
Yeah, you know, today I want to go back to yesterday, actually, and talk about Detroit Lions. And remember my sequoia, my big, powerful tree? The Detroit Lions are
Powerful
really,
tree.
they're really coming on strong now. Now they're in second place in the NFC Central. The Bears losing today. They both fall to 8 and 6. 49ers look like they are now the class of the National Football League, with Dallas losing to Cleveland. And if I look at the AFC, I have to say to myself again, the two teams that match up well with the 49ers would be the Steelers and the Browns because of their defense and the fact that they can run the football.
All right. Hey, when Deion scored that touchdown, did you see the little dance he did at the end?
Listen,
we call that a Terry.
I know, that's a Terry. And if you can't beat him, I'm going to go down there, I'm going to get him and teach him how to do that.
You're going to do the dance?
I'm going to do the dance.
I'm waiting to see this. Hey, guess what? Next week, we are supposed to get a decision from who next week on our show? Jimmy Johnson. We'll see you next week.
Tonight on Fox, catch a special presentation of New York Undercover, followed by a full hour of The Simpsons and a brand new episode of Married with Children coming up next, except on the West Coast. On Saturday, it's a Fox NFL special beginning at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Join the gang for the #1 pregame show in America, followed by the Vikings and the Lions as they battle for the playoffs. And on Sunday, after the pregame show, the race for the playoffs continues, when many of you will see the Rams battle the Bears, or the Giants take on the Eagles. Check local listings for game and time in your area.
Come from China, from Thailand, from England, Germany, France, and Australia. Every day, people from 33 countries across 5 continents come together in the friendly skies. United. Come fly the airline that's uniting the world. Come fly our friendly skies.
You've been watching Fox Sports, seen by most as being very, very cool.
How you doing, everybody? Marky Bonnie is live in San Diego with the 49ers. They're following them with San Diego. 9 straight wins, Wade.
Yeah, the 49ers pretty much had this game won in the first half, Mark. Got a little sloppy there at the end. But then again, prime time excites the San Diego crowd in the 49ers field.
Oh, yeah. He thrilled the Charger fans. We've got all the highlights coming up for you. Post-game interviews live from the Murph as we continue on the Point Out.
There, and he looks like he started to come up under control and maybe forgot to catch the ball.
3rd and 5. No score. Young to throw it. Wheels it outside. Brent Jones. Touchdown.
How you doing, everybody? Back at the Murph, the 49ers win another one, a search and destroy mission out on the road, just the way they like it when they do their best. And, people keep wondering, Dwight, what's going to be the next incentive for the 49ers to put a tough opponent away? They keep finding them. Of course, the Cowboys losing yesterday. The 49ers really get the inside track on the home field advantage through the playoffs.
This is true, Mark, but the things the 49ers have to concentrate on is keeping focus on the big picture. And the big picture is the playoffs and then the Super Bowl. But first, it's 2 more games, 1 game at a time, and that's what they have to keep focused on.
Listen to this. You're still playing football, whipping those cliches out on me, 1 game at a time. What next? We got to execute. Anything you want to say about the 49ers in a negative way from this game against the Chargers would be nitpicking, to say the least. And we'll talk about it with those players, and Larry Beal is standing right outside the 49ers locker room. Larry?
Oh, yes, me and about 1,000 of my media friends, as you can see. There's 10 pounds of media in a 5-pound corridor. We got a lot of stuff going on out here as we await the opening of the 49ers locker room. Mark, you mentioned the victory 38-15. The game kind of died down at the end. Deion Sanders picked it up with that 89-yard interception return for a touchdown, and some fireworks as the 49ers came in toward their locker room because apparently one of the angry Charger fans tossed a Coke from the stands onto Deion, and it landed point blank, so the 49ers were not very happy with that bit of showmanship by the fan, but obviously they'll put that aside and celebrate a victory that does give them a first-round bye in the playoffs. 1 more win and they will lock up home field advantage throughout the NFC playoffs. We are awaiting, as you can see, a lot of folks awaiting the opening of the 49ers locker room, but another victory will send it back out onto the field to Mark and Dwight.
All right, thanks a lot. And later on, we'll be updating the condition of Dana Stubblefield. One of the things the 49ers concerned about, he was in street clothes watching the second half of this game, so we'll get you squared away with regard to the injury situation and Dana Stubblefield in particular.
Big concern because Dana Stubblefield has been the solid force in the middle for the 49ers, and they can't afford to lose him at this juncture of the season.
Right, playing right alongside Bryant Young in his rookie year. Another big game for the rookie out of Notre Dame, making his stand to be the NFC Defensive Rookie of the Year, and hopefully we'll talk with him a little bit later. Right now, we want to press play and go on the first half highlights from this one at the Murph. And of course, this game marks the return of Gary Plummer in a 49er uniform to his old town, and Gary gets a little emotional in the early going, in on a tackle right there, and the Chargers felt a little bit late. Gary had words, but hey, what the heck, old friends, right? It didn't seem to matter too much to Tim Harris, who is back with the 49ers and looking pretty good. As a matter of fact, he took things into his own hands the first time the Chargers had the ball on consecutive plays. Number 99 doing big business on short yardage for the Chargers. In fact, on fourth down and short yardage, he puts San Diego away, and number 99 making money.
I tell you, I didn't understand that call by the San Diego Chargers, but it gave the 49ers great field position.
All right, and the 49ers continue. Niners going right at the Chargers' strength, and of course that is Junior Seau, and he gets drilled right here, as you'll see, but this was certainly not the same Junior Seau, all-pro, that we know. He's hurt.
Yeah, he's been hurt all season, and, you know, he's just hanging in there, man.
3rd and 3, Young dumps it to Brent Jones, and quickly down deep into Charger territory, in fact, all the way to the 15-yard line. And in the early going anyway, Dwight, the 49ers had trouble hanging on to the ball. A couple of receivers missed it flat out.
They had the dropsy. Steve Young wasn't quite that sharp, but here he hits Mr. Brent Jones for the touchdown.
Head over heels into the end zone, and that is one of the toughest plays you'll see a tight end make. And as John Madden said, anytime you see a receiver get head over heels, he deserves the touchdown.
You're right. Brent Jones just runs a little slam block here, releases to the outside into the flat. Exceptional effort to leap in the end zone for the touchdown.
And the 49ers out to a quick 7-0 lead against the Chargers.
Gotta love it, Mark.
Yeah,
gotta love it.
And it continues. Niners come knocking again down to the Chargers 7. 4th and 1. Well, not one of the more glorious moments for the 49ers right there. And you got to question the play selection on the short yardage. The Niners did have some trouble with that.
Yes, they did, and they have to shore that up if they're going to go into the playoffs.
And then Dion with a chance to make an interception and a quick 6. I don't know about that, but I got to wonder about these defensive backs wearing gloves.
To wear gloves or not to wear gloves, that's a question mark. But when Dion scores with the gloves on, the gloves aren't an issue. But when he picks one off and goes for a touchdown or drops one, it is an issue. So I just think you have to watch the ball all the way into your hands with or without the gloves.
And Dion's still kicking that football at last report. And you'll see another one right here. Stan Humphries back to pass. This time Toy Cook looks like he has a sure INT, but off his hands, and he's wearing gloves too.
He
right?
fall victim of the same situation, Mark. Just look the ball into your hands or your gloves, whatever the case may be.
49ers, of course, with good field position as the Chargers had to punt out of their own end zone, and John Taylor collecting the touchdown. 14-0. How did he get this open, Dwight?
Well, San Diego is playing a zone defense deep in the end zone, and John Taylor just finds a soft spot in that zone, touchdown.
All right, and 49ers begin to gently slide this one into their hind pocket, working everything into the mix. Ed McCaffrey with a nice gainer right there, 20 yards, down deep into San Diego territory, and in the red zone, you hand it to Ricky Watters. 21-0. William Floyd laying the big block that time.
Well, the San Francisco offensive line is healthy again. And boy, look at this hole they open up, and a lead block right there by William Floyd. Just enough opening for Ricky Watters to run in the end zone for 6 points.
He stopped, and Ricky and William getting along very well on the 49ers sideline. Teamwork, that's what it's all about, right? Stan Humphries has been trying to give it to the Niners all afternoon with the interceptions. Finally, they pick one off. Ken Norton Jr. really making his statement in the late going of this season with the Niners.
Well, he's been criticized a lot, not making the plays. He's been making the plays as of late.
Definitely. And then Steve Young on the ensuing drive turns it right back over. He didn't tuck it in, and Leslie O'Neal flicked it away. fumble, and the Chargers have the football, and the 49ers with a cozy 21-3 lead come halftime. But they seemed to lose it a little bit in the second half. Was that just getting too comfortable, knowing that the Chargers didn't really seem like they were going to be able to make a big run at this game?
Well, you know, the 49ers got a little bit complacent there, coming out in the second half a little cold. And the San Diego Chargers, they're vying for a playoff spot, so they got back into the game. 49ers just had to put the hammer down when they needed to, and they were fortunate enough to come out with a win.
They definitely did it. And we're going to take a look at the second half highlights. Larry Beal is still standing by in front of the 49ers locker room with some post-game interviews for you. Our play of the game, and it's all coming up as the point after continues live from San Diego.
San Francisco. The timing.
The point after is brought to you by Jack in the Box Restaurants. There's always something new.
Still to come, the great plays and stars of the game. Stay with Mark, Larry, and Dwight as the point after continues.
Oh, you wonder about...
On the way, baby, on the ball! Gonna win it! Niners! On the way!
Enjoying the fans out here, huh?
Yeah, that dude's crazy. He's still out there.
All right. Ricky Waters here. A sore Ricky Waters told me he's tired of running into Junior Seau, but you come away with a big victory.
Yeah, I think we played tough. I think we took it to him today. I mean, we came against a team that was tough, one of the best teams in the AFC, we felt, you know, at home. And we came in, I think we really went after him.
You know, with Dallas losing yesterday, I know you guys are watching week in and week out, and they've been keeping pace with you, and you desperately want the home field advantage. Right. But there was no letdown because even though the Cowboys lost, you could have taken a step back today, but you jumped all over them 21-0.
Right. But we feel like we control our own destiny. It's what we do. After we beat the Cowboys, that put us in the driver's seat, and all we have to do is just keep winning.
All right, we got your touchdown run coming up here. I know you're doing a lot more blocking for William Floyd these days, but here the tables are turned, I believe, and William with a nice block.
A great block. Man, he's doing such a great job. And I kind of feel good when I block for him because I was looking at the film and watching some of the games that we had played, and he was doing some great blocking. And I said, hey, man, I'm going to take my game up another level as far as blocking. So I think I did that today.
And I believe Harris Barton with a nice crushing block as they seal the inside off there, and you power through to the end zone.
Yeah, I just knew, hey, I see the hole, just hit it, let's go for the end zone.
Now, significance of this victory, you've got a first-round bye as a result of this, and the next step, you got 2 games left, home field advantage, 1 more win, either against Denver or Minnesota, you lock it up. Is that clearly what you guys are driving toward?
The whole thing for us is pride. You know, we want to win every game. We don't want to just win the games that we need to win. We want to win all of them. We feel like we need to win them all.
All right. Thanks very much. Can you do me a favor? Grab Doug Bryan over here, and we'll move him right in, and we'll just continue to grab people through the maze in the corridor. Hey, Ricky, are you the guy that taught him how to tackle? Are you the one that taught him how to tackle?
I told him the leg whip, man. You got to use a leg whip.
That's a lineman's leg whip that he used.
What he had to do.
Yeah, John Madden was talking all about your form here. Now, what is this all about, the old soccer-style trip?
Yeah, I guess those soccer skills are deeply entrenched in my mind, so it's just instinctive. I mean, I didn't even think about when I did it.
All right, here's Andre Coleman coming up, and he's got a seam. Looks like he's going to go, and Doug Bryan with a kick save and a beauty.
Yeah, I mean, I felt bad. I went and said sorry to him after the game, and I told him I owe him one next time we play him, so.
And that was a penalty, but when you look at it, hey, you'll take a 10-yard penalty and not give up a touchdown anytime.
Yeah, you know, when he has open field and I didn't have the sideline to channel him into. I just had to do what I had to do to get him, to get him down.
You also kicked a 22-yard field goal. Nobody's going to talk about the field goal. They're all going to talk about the vicious hits by the kicker, Doug Bryan.
Yeah, I mean, kickers get publicity for funny things sometimes. I'd also like to say hi to my mom, my dad, and my sister at home.
No, you can't do that.
Can't do that. Too late.
All right. Doug, thanks very much. A vicious tackler in his days at Cal, and bringing that.
No one's gotten by me so far.
That's all that counts. Thanks, Doug. All right. Doug Bryan, he'll be working on his tackling with George Seifert this week. By the way, before I throw it back out, Mark, you were mentioning Dana Stubblefield. He has a strained knee. As he was heading into the locker room, George Seifert asked him, "Are you okay?" And Dana said, I'm all right. But they're going to do more tests on Dana. They'll have more on him tomorrow, probably. Mark?
All right, as we mentioned, Dana Stubblefield, key ingredient. Hope he's all right to do the 49ers.
Yes, but you know, Mark, a little has been said about the 49er offensive line. I think early on, when they were injured, the offensive line was decimated. Steve Young was getting hammered. Ricky Waters was not able to get a lot of yardage on the ground, and now things have turned around. They're healthy again, and they're playing well. Steve Young has thrown for I don't know how many touchdowns, the most productive quarterback in the league at this time. Ricky Waters is running, and there's no more complaining.
They're clicking.
They're clicking.
Clicking like a movie theater turnstile on a Saturday night. Let's press play and go on those second half highlights. And what's wrong with little Cal Berkeley ingenuity? We definitely see that on the second half kickoff. Andre Coleman bringing it back. You saw it just a moment ago. And number 4 gets the big wheel in there and knocks him off his blocks.
I tell you, Doug Bryan didn't want to put his body in there, so the next best thing, put my leg in there. And he makes the tackle. He saves the touchdown, and that's the most important thing.
John Madden said he was going to be on the All-Madden team, and then he found out how he brought him down. And later on, Natron Means runs through, and I mean through the Niners, a crunching touchdown. First touchdown that the Chargers have scored on the ground in 6 games, but he wasn't too healthy after that run.
Well, the thing is, the 49ers, this is where they got a little sloppy. Merton Hanks comes in here, misses a tackle, and
Eric Davis
just doesn't wrap. He just doesn't wrap. If he wraps him up, he stops him there. They got a little sloppy. Means smelled the end zone touchdown.
And he paid for it, as he wasn't worth a hoot after that, but it was a touchdown. Young goes to Jones again. He likes it that way. Junior Seau, as you can see, just cannot hang with him. Certainly not the same Junior Seau we're used to seeing. And then on the reverse, Jerry Rice, who had another sensational game, didn't get into the end zone, but he picks up good yards right there to get the 49ers in position.
Good block by Steve Young also.
Absolutely.
And his body on the line.
Kind of a slow third quarter, really, although Bryant Young wouldn't tell you that, as he tries to wake up the guys with a sack of Humphreys.
I think he's looking for a little dance there. He says, I'll just do that little step. That's enough.
Yeah, why not? He's doing his jog. Young zips it to Jerry Rice. Well over 100 yards receiving, down to the 9. 12 catches for Jerry, and an exact total of 144 yards for Jerry Rice. Steve Young took a little knock that time, but he just keeps getting up and doing it, and he'll unload again under some pressure. Ricky Waters just within an inch of the end zone. Didn't quite get there. Steve Young, 25 for 32, 304 yards, and 2 touchdown passes. 31 for the year. That ties Joe Montana for the team record. You see how close.
Talk about football being a game of inches. Look at this. Ricky Waters just desperately trying to get into the end zone, and official made a good call there, unlike the few calls that we've seen this year.
There were some strange ones out here, and William Floyd, he's been wanting the ball up close and personal like that near the 1, and he gets it, and then he gets to do his thing, right?
Well, he deserves the ball down in there. He does a good job of blocking, and he smells the end zone.
The Chargers were out of the game, and they finally come back and score a touchdown. Humphreys to Tony Martin. He was wide open. They get to blow off that cannon a couple of times before it's over. They go for the 2-point conversion, but that's a no-go.
Oh, Dion intercepts this, read it nicely. He wants to score, but he forgot that this is just the extra point or extra points attempt, but he does make a good play to stop the 2-point conversion.
Right, you can do that in college, but you can't in the NFL. But Deion will get his shot at it very late in the game. Deion Sanders, gloves and all, and Sanders is gone. This is just speed, high-stepping, and then he gets to do the dance, and Deion Sanders on his way to the end zone to just put the juice on this one.
That's right, and you were talking earlier, Mark, that, take the gloves off when he missed the interception, but here, he gets the interception, goes 89 yards for a touchdown. I didn't hear you say take off the gloves.
No, I think he should wear those gloves, right? I think they're helpful. It was colder in the second half, so I can't rip Deion at all for that. And he electrifies the crowd, and there were a lot of 49er fans down here making the trek. So.
Yes, there were. That one that was up there screaming for us when we came back from break, that was one of the lone fans that the security guards missed.
They shoo him out of here quick when the Chargers lose. And we're continuing from the Murph in San Diego. We've got more highlights to show you and more victory interviews outside the 49ers locker room as we continue on the Point After.
And when he decides to go, he's going to go, but he gets hit too,
Young to throw it.
Mark and Dwight with analysis. Larry in the locker room. More to come as the Point After continues.
we are back at Jack Murphy Stadium. The 49ers victorious 38-15 over the Chargers. And here is the most beloved man in San Diego. What were all those boos every time your name was announced on a tackle, Gary?
Well, Deion Sanders said that was respect. And I guess they respected me a lot today because every time I made a tackle, they booed me. It just motivated me that much more.
I thought your middle name was Lou or something. They were boo. Did that bother you at all?
No, not at all. I think, part of that was the whole Deion Sanders thing, that this was Jack Plummer Stadium.
Right.
But really, I think it's a sign of respect because you're out there making plays.
Yeah, for those of you that missed it during the week, Deion Sanders conducted his own little impromptu news conference and said, "This is Plummer's house. It's always Plummer's house. It always will be Plummer's house." And certainly you can walk away proud today after a big victory.
Well, the great part about this is I live here in the off season, so I'll be able to hold my head up high and just go on with. Oh, that was a little late hit there. But
just slightly late, huh?
Well, some people get upset about that kind of stuff, but you just have to play hard.
Well, obviously you were psyched up. Did you feel more jacked up for this game than any other game?
Definitely, the excitement level for this game was there was no comparison to any of the last ones, and you just have to make a play every now and then. Right direction. We need to win one more to clinch that home field playoff advantage that everybody's looking for, and once we have that, it's just another step to where the ultimate goal is, the Super Bowl.
I know you're not a big fan of Chargers GM Bobby Beathard. They had kind of a little tiff in the offseason here as Gary went up to San Francisco, but his evaluation was he felt the 49ers were clearly the team to beat in the NFL, and he said he expects them to win the Super Bowl this year for whatever that's worth to you.
Well, maybe he does have a good evaluation of talent after all.
All right. Thanks, Gary.
And the Raiders have won 6 of their last 8. They're 8-6, folks. And the Raiders beat the Broncos with a count of 23-13. Did we say hot? The 49ers have won 8 in a row. They're going down to the Chargers to the Murph. The Chargers for the second straight game. If they can win, San Diego, Humphreys, and the guys, they can win the AFC West for the second time in 3 years. But against the 49ers, who knows? 4th and 8, Tim Harris, hello, that's $5,000. That's what he gets as the bonus for every sack that he gets. So, 49ers take over. Steve Young. I think he's been decent lately, Tom. Like 20 touchdown passes the last 8 games. Into the flat to, here's one pass in the flat to Brent Jones for 11 yards. Then left flat to Brent Jones, and then touchdown, 7-0 San Francisco.
And I think the thing you want to notice about this play is after Brent Jones makes the catch in the flat, the defense doesn't show until he's at the 1-yard line. Too late to keep him out of the end zone.
And plays like that from the Pro Bowler Jones put a smile on his coach's face, George Seifert. Chargers pin in their own territory, the shadow of their own goalpost. Deion Sanders. He had the touchdown and he knew it. He boots the ball. Would he have a chance later to get one? We'll see. Now the Bolt having trouble. The Bolt man. They've had a rough week out there at the Murph. Although a good time has been had by all. Young to John Taylor, 5 yards, 14-0, 49ers. Junior Seau shows the disconsolence 49ers with some great blocking here for Ricky Waters. It's a 4-yard scamper, 21-0 San Francisco. No monkeying around for the Niners as they lead it 21-3. At the San Diego Zoo is right down the street, Tom.
This is just one example of why the Niners are the Niners. Brent Jones makes the catch, has the opportunity to run out of bounds, knows he's going to take a big hit. He gets every single yard that he can get. And then on the next play, Jerry Rice turns the corner again, has the opportunity to go out of bounds, cuts back into the inside of the field, gets every yard possible.
Now 31-15. Stan Humphries trying to make something happen, but who makes it happen? Deion Sanders, and let's go, crank it up. Prime time, prime time, prime time, prime time. It's like a Cadillac trot around the bases getting into the end zone. 38-15. Deion fires it off. And the Niners, all they must do is win 1 out of their last 2 games, and they'll be singing that verse rarely heard from that Bing Crosby classic. They'll be home for the championship game. 49ers 38, and the Chargers 15. Steve Young threw for 300 yards today. Jerry Rice caught 12 passes, gives him 99 for the season. Humphries and Young both threw for 300 yards in this wild one at the Murph.